Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to SpawnCast episode 227. Got everyone here except for we're missing MVG. He'll be back next week. And then Max, he'll also be back next week. But we got a bunch of people here, including our guest tonight. We are finally bringing on a guest. It's been a while since we've had someone else on than the usual cast members. We have Scott the Wasp. Scott, how you doing tonight?
Hey, welcome back. Thank you for remembering my Discord username.
Yes, I still have it. I still have it. It's good to have Scott back on. Definitely always checking out his channel. Of course, you got a lot of stuff going on now. Just did Super Mario Bowser's Fury, right? 3D World.
Yeah, that was an hour long.
Yeah, I saw that. I was like, you did an hour on that game. Wow.
I hated that. Wasn't fun, but you know that's over with, so it's whatever. I gotta close my window. I'm sorry. I broke my window broke the other day because I just woke up one morning and I heard maintenance like walking around, and I just heard like oh shit. So like they broke my window for me.
How did they break it?
I don't know. I just got a voicemail from them saying they broke my window. So
they're gonna replace that window, right? Sir?
I don't know.
We'll see. We'll find out.
Damn landlords these days, man. The pandemic, they don't give a damn anymore. They're just like, oh, we'll just move out. I don't care.
We'll figure it out.
It's a duct tape. Yeah. Right. Just I guess keep us up to date on that situation there, Scott, with the window. I'm curious how they broke it more than anything else.
Well, I mean, it was early in the morning. I just remember waking up and I was just like, oh man, I just had this dream that I heard this glass break, and then I went into my office and I was just
when you saw it, did you think that someone had tried to break in first before you got the voicemail?
You see, there's two layers. There's like the out glass layer, and then there's the in glass layer, and they only broke the out glass layer, so it could be worse. So it's been like this for about 2 weeks. So,
okay.
So we're waiting, but it'll get fixed eventually.
Good. And then we have Nate the Hate.
Yes.
Oh, good, he's there. All right, cool.
Yeah,
we didn't check before we went live.
I was reading an article about a German coach who punched a horse at the Olympics and got thrown out of Tokyo for it.
Good. You better get thrown out. Why punching horses, man?
Because the horse didn't jump.
Wow.
Well, is that for the pentathlon one?
Yeah.
Dude, I've been watching.
Pentathlon, it didn't jump, so he punched the horse.
Like, wait, hold on. In like the face or like in the side? Did they say like? It doesn't
say where it punched the horse. That's what I was curious if they had like a picture of him punching the horse in the face, just to see like how nuts did this guy go, or did he like punch it in the ass or something? Because
I feel like if you did that, you would get kicked, right? Like immediately the horse would just kick you.
I mean, and the guy deserves it. If like the horse would have like kicked him in the head, it would have been like, well,
that's interesting. I really don't think I would ever be like, I'm gonna go punch this horse or something.
To be fair, the horse didn't do its job.
Well, I mean, this is the thing with pentathlon, though. It comes down to the experience of the trainer. Like, you get a random horse. It's like, here's a random horse. You got to like show your riding skills and how you can like do it. And a lot of the horses are like, hey, you have no idea what you're doing. I'm not jumping.
Can I say something about horses?
No, I think it's just, honestly, it's irresponsible. Like, just give them their own horse that they're used to. Like, let them like.
And you got to ship the horse there. It's all the way on an island in Japan. That's just.
I got to hear this. I got to hear this commentary.
I want to zoom in for this.
From Sean. All right, Sean.
Horses legitimately creep me out.
Wow,
weird as hell.
Thank you. I think, and it's like, why do we still have so many of them? We don't have the fucking Pony Express anymore, where the mailman rides up on a horse or something like that. You know, the cops. You know, some places still have horse cops.
Why are you disrespecting the equine?
I don't like them. And you know what's crazy about them? The whole marketplace for horses is insane. In high school, my buddy used to date this girl who was like into like horse riding and stuff, and I always thought that she made him do weird things with the horse, but that's a story for another day.
What?
Dude, this chick was weird. Anyways, she would tell us like, oh, I'm about to sell this horse for $100,000. I'm like, for a fucking horse, what's it gonna do? Eat hay? Eat some grass? Like I don't understand it. I don't understand horses.
It is a majestic creature.
I would rather have buffalo instead of horses.
Until you have to take care of them, Nate. It sucks when you have to take care of them.
Well, yeah.
Well, that's why you go to college. You go to equine studies so you can learn how to care for the horse.
No, that doesn't. I have a horse barn here. I've had to take care of a bunch of them for years. It fucking sucks.
Well, like
That's
any
just it.
living thing, of course it's gonna suck. I mean,
literally-
You don't see a dog selling for $100,000. Why is a horse worth $100,000?
It depends the breed of dog and what its father and mother are.
One of them spent half a year
Yeah.
literally eating the top bar of all of our fence the whole way around, just ripping it out like nonstop. It was miserable.
My daughter's living, and she's pretty easy to take care. It wasn't that hard to raise.
Well, maybe
I'm
even
just
easy kid.
saying.
Good job, OJ.
Sean,
Sean is raising sea monkeys.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Yeah, how
So
are they
it's-
doing?
They
They're
still
good.
alive?
Yeah,
Oh,
it's
okay. Wow. Okay.
pretty big too. Horses are just weird, man. Like I don't like horses.
Well, Sean, how you doing tonight? We have RGT here.
Hey, Knicks had a very solid free agency.
Here we go.
Very, very pleased with the moves that they made. And I think it's going to be a great season. So it was a good
This
week.
man's decked out like the season's starting tomorrow, bro. Like,
Well, technically, Summer League starts tomorrow, 4 p.m. Eastern on ESPN2. The Knicks and the Raptors play.
oh, weirdo. You watching Summer League, bro? Come on.
Of course, I got to see how Obi Toppin and Emmanuel quickly progressed in the offseason. This is going to be their second year. The Luka Vildoza, who's the guy that we signed before the end of the year last year, who's from Europe. He's going to be playing.
Okay.
I mean, let's go over here because we got OJ. Player Essence, how's it going?
Yeah, I can't wait to watch the Bulls. They're coming out in their Summer League. I'm gonna go fly there, watch them. No.
First off, your Bulls are in
They
hot
made some
water.
moves. They made some moves. Shut up.
Yeah, they're in hot water from tampering. Okay, that Lonzo Ball deal might
my
not go
God.
through, and you
Whatever.
overpaid for DeMar DeRozan. I can't believe DeMar DeRozan got that big of a bag.
Well,
That's
your bro. No.
DeMar DeRozan is not worth anywhere near that sort of money
What they
that
pay
he
him
got.
again? What they pay him
Huh?
again?
DeMar DeRozan.
Yeah,
They
what
paid him
pay?
like over 90 mil.
Yeah, that's too much. Hey,
That's
my
a
name's
big
what's
bag.
I'm here. What's up, John? How
Okay.
you doing today?
Let's
Yeah,
go.
we overpaid from. Oh well, they overpaid from. Nobody wants to go to Chicago anymore to play. But yeah, whatever. I'm here. Thanks for having me on. What's up, Scott? Good to have another guest on. Shout outs.
Hey,
Let's go to Miss Click. How's it going? Got Miss Click here
Hi,
tonight.
yeah, we're here. It's all right. You didn't introduce me as the lore master, like people were tweeting at you, but it's fine. Missed you guys
The
last week.
lore master. How
Go
was that? Did you have fun last
Sportball.
week? Did you have
Oh
fun
my
last
god,
week?
it was so much fun. Honestly, like when they first reached out to us about the idea, it's like, hey, this isn't just like, why are you posting horse gifs? Yes, I was a horse girl. Get at me, you guys. Freaking, I love animals. Okay, fight me. No, it was a blast. Seriously, like they reached out and they're like, hey, Amazon, Nintendo, like want to do this event. It's very tentative, but like, would you want to talk about Zelda? And it's like, of course. And so it was honestly like the whole weekend went by so fast because it went by so smooth. It was really, really fun. So I want to say thanks to everybody who did show up and show out for that. It was on the front page of Twitch, the hero spot. So it was really, really cool. It was a very surreal experience, but the show went well. Nintendo, loved it. The team with Amazon liked it. So hopefully they'll get to have more shows like that in the future for other series as well. Like I know they want to do Metroid, Mass Effect, Pokemon, all these different kinds
They
of
need to
games.
call me for the Mass Effect.
I know. We were talking about like Jordan, OJ. You guys gotta like get on that.
Call
Pokemon
me for that
stuff.
one, man. I love me
Yeah.
some Mass Effect. I know everything about that series.
Yeah, it was genuinely like a really just like talking about video games, just absolute like a debate, but not really, because in reality it's just like you get to talk about a game you love. So it was a lot of fun.
Let's go over to Jordan Fringe.
Going on. Glad to be here. And congrats again, Ms. Click. I watched that live. The lore
Hey.
master herself
It was
of Legend
fun.
of Zelda.
Or congrats to Jordan getting his 100,000
He did.
subscriber mark
He
and
did.
that silver play button's inbound, right?
It is on the way. It is
Awesome.
on the way. Yeah.
Awesome.
And the check mark is there. I saw Jordan in my stream earlier. Thank you for coming by. That check mark is looking great too.
Thank you. I appreciate the support.
And we have Evan.
Yep.
Good to have Evan here. Okay, you want to hit us with the Discord questions as we get started?
Let's go with, is there a live service game that already died that, in your opinion, doesn't deserve that fate?
A live service game that died that doesn't deserve that fate.
Mine was Gigantic. I mean, I still love that game.
You were really big into Gigantic.
Yeah.
I remember that. One that died that didn't deserve that fate.
I don't really like live service games, so I don't.
I mean, you can
That's
think,
hard.
I guess, as multiplayer games, even that were trying to be held up, and then they had to shut the servers down.
Yeah, wouldn't you say something like Friday the 13th, since they were kind of told not to continue supporting
Yeah, but
it?
I mean that was kind of different. That was because of legal stuff more so than what they put out was what they put out, and they were legally bound to not put out anything else. I think if they would have still been able to make content for it because there's so much stuff you could do with Friday the 13th that I think the game would have been very different.
I was gonna say Skate 3, but they brought a lot of that stuff back. Like the functionality came back for that, from what I remember. But for live services, that's tough. I saw some people saying Lawbreakers, but I mean, I don't really think a lot of people played that anyway. So
game was good though. From what I watched, it seemed like a really good
mechanically
game.
It was good.
Yeah.
It just blended in too much to all the other hero shooters, and that was it didn't really stand out. That was its biggest thing. I mean, for the longest time, Fortnite wasn't really doing much. Then they did the battle royale stuff, and then that exploded. So it's just, unfortunately, Lawbreakers, even if it was good like mechanically, just didn't do enough to separate itself. Yeah, unfortunately. You got another one, Evan?
Childhood game that made you rage.
Childhood game that made you rage. Ninja Gaidens, old Ninja Gaidens on NES.
I mean, there's a lot.
Battletoads, dude.
Battletoads the good one. Battletoads the good one.
Battletoads was just it made you want to tear your hair out how hard that game was, man.
Even like Double Dragon Battletoads was tough too. Yeah.
And there's this crappy NES game called Robocop.
That game sucks.
The game sucks, but you wanted to play it because it was Robocop, and Robocop was like badass and was like the best thing in the 80s. So I was like, heck yeah. But man, that game sucked. But it was terrible.
And the big problem with Robocop is that it had an arcade game that was really good. Yeah. So you thought this is going to be a version like the arcade. No, it was a piece of shit.
We got baited. We got baited on that.
I'm going to go with Perfect Dark, when you got to like the ridiculous like computers that would just shoot you immediately when you came around the corner. Trying to beat those challenges was the worst because you just die instantly. No question at all there. What you got, Scott? What do you got?
I think I remember crying at WarioWare Smooth Moves on the Wii.
What? Oh my goodness.
Smooth Moves? What did it do to you?
Yeah. There's this how old was I when that? Like probably like 15. No, it was like I was like probably like 10. Nah, yeah, probably. There was a boss fight where you had to do like this sword fight kind of thing. I don't think it was reading it properly, or I was just dumb. Either way, I think it was both. And I just couldn't beat it. And I started screaming into a pillow. It was pretty bad.
Into a pillow. Oh man.
That was the worst it ever got for me. I never really raged at games, but that was the one that got me. I don't know.
Let's go over here. We'll start with the Nintendo and PlayStation 5 sales. Really with the Nintendo sales first, then we'll talk a little bit about PS5 sales stuff. Because the biggest thing with the Switch is it did pass another system, well, two systems, that being the Xbox 360 and the PlayStation 3, with the Switch now at 89 million units sold. So it does seem that most likely either by the end of this year or at least by the beginning of next year, it will pass the Wii. The Wii is about 101 million units, which for the longest time, that's been Nintendo's most successful home console. But now the Switch is right there. I mean, by now it should be over 90 million units. So there's a good chance with a strong holiday with the Switch OLED, it might pass the Wii this holiday throughout December. So it passing the PS3 and the 360 this fast was pretty impressive, considering those systems, that generation felt like it took forever. I remember people were like, all right, when's the PS4 coming out? When's the Xbox One coming out? And the Switch did it in less than 5 years technically now. So it's interesting looking back on different articles and stuff where people are speculating on how the Switch was going to do. Obviously, it did much better than the Wii U by, I mean, we're at 6 or 7 times now, 6 or 7x what it did in terms of its sales, and the software 632 million. So what do you guys think about the Switch now passing up on the PS3 and the 360, and seemingly the next up is the Wii?
I mean, it shouldn't really be a surprise at this point. It's not, it's more of a question as to when it's going to pass certain systems. I think the only ifs you really run into are, PlayStation 2.
That's what I was going to ask. We're going to get to, well, first off, or is it passing the PS4? PS4 at 116 million now.
I think so.
It's if you go off basis like the projections, it's going to pass it up like probably mid to late next year. Depends on where Nintendo puts Zelda, where Splatoon
It's
where
true.
Pokemon.
They
where
could
all
still
those
have
games-
it. They could still have that fabled Switch Pro out there somewhere. You don't know. Yeah, they
Yeah,
could
they
have
could.
another hardware refresh at some point. Even
I'm just going based off of just what we know. So I think based off just like the projections, it's gonna pass it up. Probably like PS4 sold. I think it sold around 500,000 units in the past quarter. So that if it stays about steady to that, or it goes lower, probably gonna go lower as PS5 production kind of ramps up a bit more now. Yeah, it should pass it up. It's not really gonna add much more to its total. So I probably think next year at some point, end of middle of next year.
That's kind of what I'm thinking. Yeah. What about? Yeah. So at that point, the only other system ahead of it would be the PS2. Yeah, because there's nothing else between the PS4 and the PS2. So, I mean, realistically, could the Switch catch the PS2 at 155 million units?
I think that's where your revision comes into play.
Yeah.
Yeah, like it would need something, and
it would need to last a while. The generation have to go a while. Yeah,
it would need to go, if we're just going like lowest level sales, right? So like let's say 20 million a year, or like let's just say about that. It would still need another like 2 years of that to get into the same distance, right? So
well, that's their targeted goal, right?
Yeah, it would need about like another 20 million a year, and then like another like 10, 15 million a year, or something like that. So they would have to have something, right? Or they'd have to be like a sale, like a big sale on the system, or there'd have to be something that gets those extra units to move.
They need something to either make the generation last longer, or like you said, price cut it so that it feels like it's easier to go buy. But I mean, people are just stacking Switch systems in their house now, like Scott's stacking Wii U's. So like the people have like 3 or 4 systems.
I'm not done yet. I got like probably
Wait, how many Wii U's? How many Wii U's you got in that house right now?
Like 9.
That seems illegal.
He's got all the Wii U's. This man's got every Wii U.
I have one right here. I got one right here.
They got a spot for you at the investors meeting next to RGT's little name
tag. I did dick around with Robinhood, so I do own like a share of Nintendo. So
they went down.
Watch out there.
Yeah, they went down. Trust me, I know.
Now's a good time to buy.
Well, I think. I don't know. I mean, I think if it's going to pass PS2, you would need because like we've already kind of had all the major like system seller games like get their entry on Switch, and now it's just kind of sequels at this point, which I think more so appeal to existing owners of the Switch. And I think you kind of need to have that revision or price drop or something like that to get even more consumers in there.
What about this one? All right, Mario Kart 9.
That will do it.
Because
that would be something.
You know what the second best selling game this quarter was?
Oh God,
it was Mario Kart 8 Deluxe. Everyone needs to stop buying this game.
Was a new Super Mario Brothers U Deluxe that got off of the top 10 chart.
It was out. I was thinking about you, Scott, when that happened.
Just man, these video game sales.
Ring Fit Adventure took that thing down. Yeah.
That's surprising. I mean, that's surprising, but it's not surprising. Like, it's just like something where it's just like that's I don't know. It's just pretty cool to see something like that kind of interesting be in the top 10 other than like, standard, the Nintendo franchise that we always see.
It's a new IP. So technically it'd be like probably maybe the most successful new IP or one of the most successful new IPs so far.
Well, just the fact that Splatoon 2 is still like, it's like 13 mil at this point, or 12 mil, 12 to 13 mil.
Yeah,
like that is incredibly impressive for such a new Nintendo IP. I can't remember the last time like a Nintendo IP that is like this new within like, about 5 years old, did this well by the second entry. Like it's probably been like the Wii series probably, but disregarding the Wii series, like it's probably been since like, I don't know, like when would you say like
Animal Crossing? That was probably the last one that got that big was Animal Crossing. So yeah, it's been a while. It's been a
It's just really cool to see, honestly. And the same with like Ring Fit is just like the two, like, you have a lot of the staple franchises, but then you also have the new ones, doing that well too.
Are you grabbing the Switch OLED, Scott?
I think the Switch OLED is stupid, so I pre-ordered it. So I got a notification on my way. I was on the road, and I got a notification that pre-orders went live, and I was just like, oh, well, I'm probably not getting it. And then when I like stopped my car, I was like, oh, I checked Target, and it was available. I was like,
All right, here's the real question. Okay, Metroid Dread is coming out the same day as that, right? Obviously the Switch OLED's basically the Metroid system, but Metroid Dread is coming out. Okay, 3 million copies. Can it do
Here
it?
we go.
Yeah.
I like
In a
the sound of
year.
that.
In a year.
1 year.
Yeah.
I like it.
think
I
it'll
like
do.
it. I like it.
I've heard the debates.
Yeah.
I don't really I think 3 million is a decent number for it to shoot for. I think the amount of time that it's been, obviously Metroid has never been a huge sales juggernaut, but I think the Switch is kind of getting a lot of people to try out new things. Of course, like you can look at Zelda, but Zelda, had Breath of the Wild that was like this huge revolution pretty much for the Zelda series. So I think that gave people a reason to go in. Dread isn't necessarily that. It's more so giving people, Metroid 5. I think with just the amount of just legacy the Metroid name has, I think a lot of people will consider it, consider picking it up.
They keep showing it. Keeps looking better. Every time I see the trailer, I'm like,
analysis.
better and better and
Excellent
better.
analysis. Excellent analysis by Scott the Waz. Goodness,
Hey,
could have said
What
it
do you
better
think?
myself.
What do you think? Advance Wars 1 and 2 reboot camp, is that like 5 million in a year?
No, that's like 1.5 million.
$60. That's a $60 game. I still think that's a bit iffy.
But at least it's
Here's the
new
difference.
games.
Well, here's the good news. If it passes 3 million, though, that'd be Metroid Dread. Sean will have to play through Balan Wonderworld. And I want to remind everyone, last time we played the demo, he crushed a can on his head. So I can only imagine what the entire game will do to him.
Might not make
You
it
gotta play the
through.
entire game.
You have to.
He's got to beat it. He's got to beat the game
He has to review it.
I might,
Oh my! g-
on the Switch.
I might start writing my will.
I cannot wait for that because you know it's going to happen. You know it's going to happen. So
That ain't
cannot
gonna
wait
know.
for that.
Metroid Prime 4 will sell over 3 million the first year. Metroid Dread will not.
What about a
Not wait
Metroid
for
Prime
this.
trilogy? How would that do?
I'd be curious about that too. How that one would
That's
go.
tough. That I don't know. I don't feel comfortable.
I feel like there's a lot.
It's interesting how they would position it. I don't know.
I feel like there's a lot of people who would. They've heard so much talk about Prime, and maybe they're younger and they didn't have a GameCube, or even like they don't want to get a Wii U because but
A whole new console.
yeah. Well, you got half the supply in that house.
Don't disrespect Scott over here. They don't want to get a Wii U.
The Wii U is my most used console, right? I use it almost daily for work and pleasure and
What do you play?
everything.
What do you play on it yesterday?
I played yesterday. Let me look at my gameplay footage. I don't know. I beat Metroid Zero Mission on it.
Oh, nice. See, that's a good one. That's a good one.
That was good. That's good on the Wii U. You have save states if you need them. So you can do that. It's fun because if you want to, you can play it on the gamepad while you're I don't know, I have an exercise bike, so it's just I can just play something on the TV while I'm playing on the gamepad, and then it's also recording footage. So it's just you can't do that on any other platform. Come on. Then what else? I played a little bit of Mario 3D World. I had to. There's all kinds of things. I have all kinds of excuses to play the Wii U.
That's the best
good.
excuse though. The Metroid, Zero Mission and Fusion are on there.
Well, hold on. I saw a lot of videos this weekend saying Nintendo's bringing Game Boy to the Switch.
I think it's coming. I think it's
tomorrow.
coming.
I thought about doing one just for fun, just because everyone's so excited, and I'm like, I'll crush some dreams.
I watched both of RGT's videos about Game Boy Advance coming. One last year and one this year.
Hey, I would love to see it.
I didn't even know I
Nintendo?
made one last year.
You did.
Is,
I watched both
is
of
the
them back to
reasoning
back.
is the reasoning just because of people want the Metroid games Zero Mission and Fusion before
Yep.
Dread?
Yep.
Yeah.
Well, and it's been, they haven't introduced a new console in a while. They're obviously out of ideas for what to add to the Super Nintendo because they gave us fucking Bomboozled and Jelly Boy.
Yeah,
Like,
whatever.
fuck off.
And
Like,
you got
with the
special
baby?
Mario 3.
Which wasn't even
Jelly
announced.
Boy.
Yeah,
That's a good
they
save
don't
state.
announce the special versions for some reason.
But they
just
have
fart 'em
before,
out.
haven't they? I swear that they've announced
They
a special
seem to be
version
kind of
before.
they seem to be kind of silent releases. Because I think at least this time they just did SNES, and they've done a couple others where I think Super Mario Kart got a special release and they didn't announce that either. So I don't know.
But we had the sales figures released. Mario Kart 8 Deluxe is still at the top, obviously, and then we have Animal Crossing, Legend of Zelda: Breath of the Wild, Smash Brothers, all of these, and it was just nice to see Ring Fit Adventure get its way into the chart there. But overall, Nintendo's doing well. And Nate, did you have any comments? Do you want to throw in here on the sales? I know we were talking about it passing the Wii. Earlier this year or last holiday, we were talking about this holiday might be when they actually passed the Wii.
Yeah, probably about this time last year we were talking about that would pass the Wii before the end of 2021, which it's on track to do very easily. But the idea of the Wii or the Switch passing the DS or the PS2 is premature at this point, because if you really look at the sales figures, the Switch is currently 59% of the way to the PlayStation 2 totals. Yes. When you think about it that way, it has a long way ahead of it.
Oh, it definitely does.
At best, it will probably finish behind the PS2 and the DS, go down as the third best-selling hardware released. And even a title like a Mario Kart 9, I don't think you're going to get that surge of new consumers because they've already bought a Switch. They're playing Mario Kart 8 Deluxe. They're not waiting for a new Mario Kart. And the problem that the industry now faces, and the term problem is used loosely, is that when the PlayStation 2 was on market from, how long was it on shelves? 8 years, 9 years?
The PlayStation 2? I mean, they had
12. No, it's 12 years.
And then they even had games released later, like FIFA 14 was on it.
And from 2006, so we're talking the PlayStation 3's introduction until 2013, the PlayStation 2 sold 55 million units after the introduction of its next-gen successor. And that was largely due to price drops to $100 and the emergence of the platform in secondary markets. Mm-hmm. So that was like the Middle East, Latin America. And those are markets that now these companies direct new shipments to right at launch. They're no longer viewed as secondary markets. They're still emerging markets, but the consoles are there in the immediate. So without those emerging markets, I don't see the Switch obtaining that high of a level of hardware sales. But if you do bring out a more powerful revision, and this would largely come down to how Nintendo positions it, do they market it as a successor, or do they market it simply as a more powerful revision? You may get close. But if they just do iterative hardware updates, similar to like a mobile platform, if Nintendo counts, the Switch Pro as part of the Switch, then yes, you may come close to 155. If they count them separately, like a Game Boy Advance, then yeah, that figure is just not even in the equation at that point. So it really comes down to how Nintendo is going to pair these systems together. But that's a conversation for a year or so from now.
Well, if they pair them together like the Switch family, that might end up being like an 8 to 9 year
that could extend this to easily to 2030. Yeah. And then it completely changes the conversation, and you'll have the people change goalposts saying, well, the Switch base unit sold, we'll say 130 million units. And then they came out with that iterative hardware, and that sold an additional, let's say 70 million units. And you'll say, well, Nintendo may say it's 200 million units, but you'd have people saying, no, it's 130 plus 70. And that'll just be a whole different mess.
Wouldn't that be based off if it has exclusive games or not? Because people still count PS4 Pro with PS4 sales. People still count Xbox One X.
We still count new Nintendo 3DS though.
Yeah, so I
Nintendo.
And and that has
the goalposts would move if it gets exclusive games or not. If it doesn't get like a lot of exclusive games, then I think that the people will be like, all right, well, I still hate it or whatever.
I figure it'll still use the same cartridges.
I would just go how Nintendo tracks it. If Nintendo tracks the two as a single entity, then it doesn't matter how the public wants to perceive it. If Nintendo's internal tracking says these are one and the same, and they say we sold 200 million units in the Switch family, then that's how the conversation should go. But you will obviously have those naysayers who'll say these are two different platforms.
I want to also go over to the PS5 very quickly here, because they did report that they now have shipments of 10.1 million. So it's a bit behind the PS4 in terms of shipments, but it's ahead of the PS4 in terms of sales, which is interesting at this time in their life. So I assume the PS5 is just maybe getting easier sell through because it's online compared to being in stores and maybe sitting in a warehouse or something while it's waiting to go out on store shelves. But for the most part, Sony appears to be right along with the PS4 in that time. And then they do have enough chips to complete what they're projecting this year, that would put them at about 22 million systems by the March 2022, which is actually ahead of the PS4. So they, despite the PS5 being very hard to find, they are actually producing quite a few of them for what goes into it and the price. And it looks like they're actually making money on them now on the PS5. So
or
they
soon will be in the next couple of weeks and month or so.
I was a little surprised to hear that. That's pretty quick to already be making money on a system like that. But I guess when they account for everything they're doing, which includes digital sales through the digital only PS5, I guess it kind of makes sense on that end that they'd be able to make money on that stuff then.
That's exactly where it is, because digital completely cuts off the used market, and secondhand. And all
Wait,
that.
I just realized, Scott, did you get a PS5 yet? Do you happen to find one?
No, I made a stupid Sam's Club account because I saw they got in stock there, and then they got out of stock right when I made the account. I was just like, I've given up I've lost all hope.
You're just waiting to be able to walk into the store and just pick one up, right?
I'll just wait for the PlayStation 6. That's what I'm waiting for. Like, it's getting pretty bad.
See, I mean, at this time they've delayed a lot of their stuff anyway to next year. So unless you really want to play like Ratchet and Clank. Really?
Yeah, there's really and Ratchet looks really good. But I mean, correct me if I'm wrong. I mean, like it looks beautiful and it looks really fun, but it doesn't really look like it does like a ton more than something like the 2016 reimagining in terms of just being a Ratchet game. Yeah, like it's just like it's really fun and it's really good, but it's also like they oversold it's really cool
some
if
of the.
You already have a PS5.
They oversold some of the mechanics in there when it comes to dimensional shifting and stuff. They were hyping up SSD.
They hyped up the
game's good
mechanic heavily when it's really just a longer lasso.
Yeah, the game's good, and there is like one level that I really liked, one world where you would shift between like past and present and all of it, and that was pretty cool.
Oh,
but
the crystal one?
Yeah, I like that one. But it wasn't as next gen almost as I feel like they were trying to play it off by the mechanics. Visually it is like it looks better than anything on the PS4 by a mile. So
yeah, well, I still have Sackboy and Demon Souls on my shelf because I bought those when I thought I got a PS5, so I kind of need to get one at this point.
The most next gen thing about the PS5 continues to be the controller. So
yeah, I'm interested to try that out.
Yep, that's the biggest thing they've done with it.
Yeah, but overall, like I feel like Sony's definitely more interesting to me in terms of the PlayStation 5 is more interesting to me in terms of the games they are offering as exclusives. But I feel like in terms of policies and almost everything else, like I really prefer what Xbox is doing now than comparative to like what I'm seeing from the PS5.
Do you mean like the smart delivery stuff on the Xbox and Game Pass kind of thing?
I don't know. I just saw like this college thesis on how to upgrade Ghost of Tsushima, and I was just like,
yeah.
Well, did you see the SSD? Oh, you saw the SSD stuff, I assume too.
Yeah, I'm just like, it's fine, it works, but it's also like, I don't know, like it's just. It feels like the system needed at least like another year in the oven.
Yes,
to just like
I agree 1,000%.
Well, I think it's because it's a not trying to, because like I have my own gripes that I about the PS5, but I play my Xbox a lot too. That's where I play like Mass Effect. But yeah, it seemed because it's like a new system. Like PS5, they actually like made like a whole new system, and Microsoft just kind of said, well, we're just gonna use like it's like exactly like the Xbox One X, right? So it's like everything's the same. So it was easier to transfer saves, easier to everything just moved over smoothly with the Xbox for me. Whereas PlayStation, it's like you got to pick the PS4 or the PS5. Like if you have a game, like if you like developers will give you 2 copies. I got like 2 copies of Immortals. You want the PS4 version? You like select it. It doesn't just like pick the best one. It's like really weird stuff that PS5 does because it is a new system and not necessarily like the same thing like the PS4 was, like UI wise and everything. So
I think that's why it feels a little more like, oh, this is cooler. Like I feel like that's almost why it does have that, not only because the PS4 was such a success, but I feel like because it feels much more like this is a brand new system to most people compared to the Xbox Series X and S, where those just kind of feel like iterative upgrades to the already existing Xboxes.
While Well, speaking of the Xbox, they did talk about MLB The Show 21, where that dropped on the PlayStation and the Xbox, and they had sold 2 million copies, but they have 4 million players for the game. So it does seem like a lot of people did download that on Game Pass when it dropped and released, to the point where they actually doubled up their user base, which is good for MLB because, I mean, it has microtransactions in it. So for them, they're reaching a bunch of people with additional spend, and it seems like they're very happy with it. So obviously that was MLB, their decision. It wasn't Sony who was like, let's put this on Game Pass, but I'm sure even they were like, oh, that's interesting. Okay. So it's something they can kind of track themselves.
I do think the sales for the PS5, like to kind of get on that, are really impressive though. Like the fact that they've been able, even with this whole chip shortage, they've been able to ship a lot of systems, man. And the PlayStation base is just going to keep buying them. I think that's one thing Sony can always count on, is that base being there to buy, whether there's going to be a bunch of exclusive games or not. I think they're just going to be there to buy the system.
Yeah, Ratchet sold over 1 million copies pretty quick for the limited user base that the PS5 has right now. Even Returnal, which is a game that, I mean, let's face it, isn't going to be great, isn't going to be interesting to a lot of people because of it being a roguelike and all of this, and it being pretty difficult. It still sold 500,000 copies, 550,000. So that's pretty good. And it was a $70 game. So like you kind of think about that and you're like, wow, that's pretty solid for Returnal.
Ratchet would have done better if there's not 10 million PS5 sitting in scalpers' basements and stuff like that. Ratchet would have sold, in my opinion, Ratchet would have sold a lot better if scalpers weren't having.
I think they're gonna run that thing mostly full price throughout the holidays, and it's just gonna, Ratchet's a game that's gonna keep selling. I would think so. We'll probably get to this time next year and they'll be like, oh, it's at 5 million copies now or something.
If you have a physical PS5 though, it's $65 on Amazon. So you can
there we go. See, go to Walmart. Walmart actually knocked that one down in price near me. I was surprised because they don't always do that for the Sony games, but that one actually was like 63, I think. So
okay,
yeah.
Okay. Best Buy ingrained into my mind to buy games there ever since the Gamers Club Unlocked days.
Oh, right.
Like now, even no matter what, I still buy my stuff at Best Buy, and now I'm like, what am I doing whenever I step foot in there? I'm like, why am I here?
That Gamers Club was so good.
It was
so no good. Wonder why they got rid of it, because it was that good. But still,
it's too good.
You would be stupid not to get it. It was ridiculous. Yeah, like you made money probably after 3 game purchases.
Yeah. Let's go over to Evan here. Evan, you got a Discord question for us?
This is a Sean question. This guy knows he played Warlock of Firetop Mountain for the DS. He was wondering if you played it for the Switch, and what your thoughts were if you did.
No, the Switch version is just a card game, whereas Warlock of Firetop Mountain for the DS was like a first-person action RPG. So they're completely different styles of games.
Is it good on the DS?
Yeah, it's fucking awesome.
Interesting. Okay. Huh. Yeah, look into that. Let's go over here, Sean. I saw you posted a video too about this because it was very interesting to me about the whole retro game stuff that's been popping up, and it's been really strange to everyone who sees it because it doesn't make a lot of sense from the outside.
Yeah, it's scam.
Scott, you've probably seen this too, because I know you're really into like the retro game stuff, because we'll talk occasionally about games that we're looking for, and we're like, these prices are getting crazy sometimes, especially on the GameCube side. GameCube side's gotten out of control completely. But now we're seeing these NES games that are sealed and they're graded. And Jordan would have been good to ask about this because he'll get like Pokemon cards graded and all that stuff. But these things are going for hundreds of thousands of dollars, now millions of dollars. We had a Mario game, this was the original Super Mario Bros. On NES sealed, that was graded a 9.8 WATA, and it sold for $2 million. But
WATA is bullshit.
What was interesting about this is it sold from a site where this Super Mario Bros. Game on the NES, this sealed WATA grade 9.8, had shareholders, and they voted to sell it.
That's awesome.
So basically, like the website is called Rally, and like you essentially just buy into things.
Shares of these things.
Yeah, that Rally buys, because Rally paid $140,000 for it in April of last year, and then they just sold it for $2 million. How in the motherfucking shit does that make sense to anyone with a goddamn brain? Okay, if the person who wanted the graded copy of the game really wanted the graded copy of the game, they would have bought it for $140,000 when nobody gave a shit about it. Not overpay for $2 million. It boggles the mind how much overpay they paid in a year. It's laundering. It's money laundering. It's a pyramid scheme. WATA has a sketchy history. If you look into WATA, their ties with Nintendo Age, their ties with Heritage Auctions, there's a whole mountain hill of shit to dig into that. I don't care. I called them out in my video. I don't give a fuck.
Can I ask a question? What's wrong with water? I drink water all the time. What are you talking about, bro?
Can we mute him? Can we mute him, please?
Sean, have you? Let me tell you this, Sean. Go over to Heritage Auction, right? Sign up for an account there and look through the auctions that have closed. I started going through them, and I was surprised at how much some of these games are going for. It's like
But are they? Example. Are they? But are they really going for that?
That's what I'm wondering.
Do you ever see the money transfer hands, or is it just a way to artificially inflate? Because think about it like this.
They're not showing up at Cheetah Pants with like a briefcase or anything. But.
Exactly. WATA benefits so much from this, and you might be saying, "Well, why? Well, how would they benefit in it?" Because they charge you to get your game graded. They have so many games that are to be graded right now. There's a huge backlog. If you want a game to be graded in less than like 6 to 7 months, you have to pay literally hundreds of dollars for them to grade your game. And first off, they're fucking idiots when it comes to grading stuff, because nobody seems to remember this, but they actually graded a counterfeit Super Nintendo that was supposed a Super Nintendo game that was supposedly a prototype that was clearly counterfeit if you would have opened it up, and they didn't open it up. They just looked at the exterior of it and then graded it and sent it back to the person. The person was like, this is counterfeit. You graded a counterfeit game. You don't know what you're doing. There's so many shady things attached to it. And I don't know why people don't call it out. Like, I don't give a fuck. What are they gonna do? You're gonna put a hit out on me, WATA? You can suck my ass. So it just doesn't make anyone with a brain will look at this and say, this does not make sense. It does not make sense for someone, and people like to say, oh, well, what about, baseball cards? What about action figures? What about comic books? You know what? I'm starting to get into the action figure game. I like collecting action figures. I have been collecting X-Men action figures. And you know what? When you take a fucking action figure, you see how flimsy it is. You see how many things can go wrong with the card of the action figure, the plastic of the action figure. A comic books, we're talking about comic books from the 1950s, 1960s that are getting graded. Do you think these were mass produced? Do you think that people bought these comics saying, oh, in 50 fucking years, I could sell this for like $1 million. Let me put it in a plastic sleeve. No, kids didn't fucking think about shit like that. They bought the comic book. They read the comic book. The dog probably ate the comic book. Comic books are made out of paper. Paper, of course, gets impacted by water and fire and all these other things. Comic books, I can understand. I understand the market for it because the market is well established. Action figures, same sort of thing. You have an established market. When you look at how the market has gone up, it's a steady thing. When you look at these video games, it's like 10,000 sealed, 10,000 sealed, million sealed. It's like, what the fuck? That doesn't make sense. It doesn't make sense.
Well, if you go on that site, right, that Heritage Auction, I was looking through, they had BioShock Infinite on the Xbox 360, and it was sealed and graded and went for over $1,000. Like, those are the ones that were weird to me. Oblivion, I think, on the 360 was like $850. Those were weird because that's like, you find those easily all over the place.
And the thing of it is like, any dumb fuck can go on eBay right now. And what game did you say? BioShock Infinite sold for how much?
BioShock Infinite was $1,000. I think it was WATA graded almost like, it was like 9 something.
What platform? Do you remember?
Xbox 360.
All right, let's see how much.
Or the original Halo Combat Evolved was sealed. That was $30,000 on the Xbox, like the original Xbox.
The game was being sold for like $15 brand new in like 2010.
Factory sealed right now. BioShock Infinite, 1995. So you could take that 1995 game, and if you get one of those nice plastic seals, you could send it off to WATA and play the long game with it. I think it's $60 is the cheapest grading that WATA does. play the long game with it, send it to WATA, get your little fucking acrylic box in, and then get this game sent back to you, and then put it up on eBay for some arbitrary amount, because there is no pricing structure for graded games, and that's where the problem comes in. Because if you take Super Mario Brothers, and 1,000 people are selling Super Mario Brothers for $10.
Oh, be careful with that.
And one asshole says, I have the exact same game, I'm going to sell it for $100. He's not going to sell that $100 copy. If he does sell that $100 copy, then of course it would change the marketplace. With these graded games, there is no established marketplace. There is no common value. You can't go on price charting and see what a graded game sells for. You can only see what a new or a sealed copy of a game sells for, because there's an established market for it. There's money laundering going on, tax evasion. There's something going on with this.
I hope
and the fact of the matter is, the WATA person, one of the people who started WATA, was from the Nintendo Age forums. And when when WATA went up, Nintendo Age, which used to have a very comprehensive price chart list of how much games were in value for, because they were about the community, that disappeared. That's not suspect at all. That's not suspect at all. How the fuck did WATA isn't the first video game grading company. VGC has been around for a much longer time than WATA, yet everyone goes to WATA. Everyone looks at WATA. Why? Because WATA games are the ones selling for hundreds of thousands of dollars. WATA graded games are the ones selling for millions of dollars. It's a fucking scheme. It's a fucking scam.
Sean, what are you going to do about it?
I hope we go to, I hope we go to too many games and there's just a table full of WATA games. Sean just goes in there and flips the table over.
I'll be like Jesus when he went into the temple and the people set up the flea market. He started flipping the table. They're like, no, God damn you.
I mean, you're right. You are correct in your rant. And I believe this is either money laundering or WATA is buying their own fucking auction.
That could be it.
To artificially drive up the prices of the retro gaming community for their own benefit.
The value they're grading
shit.
service, yeah.
This is
it's not also necessarily WATA, and let me relate that to something that like I've talked about here with Pokemon before. People will set those card price, any card game really, and people will fake buy their own cards on eBay through their friend buying it and just basically paying themselves back and taking the hit on that seller's fee, because then it'll be like, oh look, now it's set at this much. I happen to have another one. Let me put it up for sale, and then they'll actually sell it for that amount. So that's why I don't trust a lot of eBay stuff.
I hope there are WATA sealed games at Too Many Games this year. I really do.
WATA sometimes sets up at conventions.
No, I could see people
because
people getting graded. I could see that happen.
I remember when WATA was first starting out. I can't think of what convention it was, but I remember seeing them because WATA was actually set up like right near VGC. And I remember looking at it, I was like, WATA, what is this? I've heard of VGC before. And so like I ended up talking with the people, and I wish I could remember what fucking con that was at. But this was probably back in 2016, maybe, because WATA hasn't been around for that long.
Oh, so maybe because it's interesting. The reason that we had that report on that Super Mario Bros. On the NES is because the place that sold it let the New York Times know.
Yeah, rally.
Like, hey, we sold it. It was $2 million. Go tell people. And then it started making the rounds. So it wasn't a shareholder or anyone who was like, look how we got 900% return on our shares. Like that would be something that, most people would be excited and go tell people about. Now is the place that sold it. So.
And there's another site that actually does something similar, because I got an email a couple of weeks ago from it. They framed it as something like stadium games. I was like, what the hell is this? And it's called like Otis. Like you can buy stock in these games that go to auction. I was like, this is the stupidest thing I've ever heard.
It works.
Why am I going to buy 5 shares in New Super Mario Brothers in hopes that some idiot spends $1 million on it?
I mean, it works.
Apparently, it actually worked in this case.
People do that. Like they buy in on shares or ownership of very expensive items. But like I guess like back in the day, you'd go in and buy like a video game with your friends, like pull money, and then you'd be like, all right, we all own a quarter of this game, kind of thing. But now it's like we're talking about millions of dollars and like thousands of people buying in the shareholders.
It's
very weird.
The game's not worth $2 million.
It's not. We used to hold up a a table at the store that kept rocking with a copy of Super Mario Bros. Like Duck Hunt.
But even a sealed copy. And the problem is when you go on
sealed copy,
when you go on eBay now, all the sealed copies are stupid high all of a sudden.
That's my concern.
Because
they're driving up the retro market pricing.
Yeah.
So people say, "Oh, I have a copy of that game. They just sold it for $2 million. That means my copy has to be worth more than the $300 I saw it being sold for a week ago. So I'm going to ask for $25,000."
The good thing here is I haven't noticed this effect on Mario 64 yet for the N64. That might be because we had that Mario 3D All-Stars collection release recently on the Switch.
I'm waiting for Devil's Third to be sold for like $4 million by Watto.
Does anyone have a sealed copy of... Scott's not here. We got to find... If Scott has a sealed copy of Devil's Third... Wait, OJ has it?
I do.
Well, I mean, here's what I don't get.
Who actually wants to play the game? Everyone bought it to keep it sealed.
Here's something I don't get. Okay, you have Pokemon Blue on the Game Boy Color, 9.8 Wata graded. Oh wait, no, this is a repro. Never mind, my mistake. Keep talking. I want to find something specific.
We need somebody to send away Devil's Third and get it graded. How good does yours look, Nate? The Devil's Third
looks pretty good.
Well, here's the fucked up thing.
Hey, if it sold for like $5 million, I'll be like, this is the dumbest thing I've ever seen.
The thing that's absolutely crazy about this is you don't have to have a sealed copy of a game. Wata will grade a cartridge. If you just have a loose cartridge, they'll grade it. It's on their website. Yeah. You can have the whole fucking collection. Yeah, a disc. They'll grade anything, and they do such a good job because they couldn't tell that SNES prototype wasn't a repro.
Hold on. How come like half the cast has a sealed copy of Devil's Third?
We knew where to invest.
Kind of strange. Like I see Scott got up to get Devil's Third. You actually beat it though.
Yeah, I beat it. It's not good, but it's a good investment.
Okay,
yeah, that's shot up in price pretty quick on eBay.
Here's a game, Skies of Arcadia on the Dreamcast. How much is that? That's what? It's $100 game for a used copy. Right?
Yeah, complete and brand new. I'd give you in the range of 175 to 200
for a brand new seal.
Yeah, no, brand new would be higher. Brand new would be higher.
I'm just talking about a used copy of it because I want to compare this. I want to compare this from Mario to Super. I want to compare a loose copy of Super Mario Brothers versus a sealed copy of Super Mario Brothers.
So are we talking like with the box for Skies of Arcadia on the Dreamcast?
Complete
yes. Box. I'll give you I'll give you 150.
Okay, a sealed copy, 9.8 Wata graded, of Skies of Arcadia, which is a disc-based game, which is a jewel case. Which, if you know anything about jewel cases, I would trust an NES cardboard box over a jewel case any day of the week. is listed for $3,000.
Sean, it's time to get that Panzer Dragoon graded.
$3,000?
$3,000.
That's nonsense. That's nonsense.
But just okay. But the point I'm trying to make is you have a game that's rarer than Super Mario Brothers. That is rarer. That's arguably harder to keep in pristine condition. That sells more on the used marketplace than a game like Super Mario Brothers. Yet this gets graded the same 9.8 Wata grading, and for some reason this is only worth $3,000 versus a $2 million copy of Super Mario Brothers.
Because Mario is Mario. That's it. It's part to do.
Is it?
I don't know. My concern is the effect on the retro market here. Is like, are we at a point where these things get out of control?
I bought a brand new sealed copy of NFL 2K for the Dreamcast for $3.
Oh, big money right here.
I have one of those.
Okay. Hey, if all of a sudden you're gonna go on the Wata auction, it's gonna be like $12,000, and
that's what I'm saying.
$4 for it.
I don't know. All I know is I'm gonna go too many games to be mad the whole time looking at GameCube prices.
Mario Kart 8 Wii, 9.8 Wata graded. It's listed for $3,800.
Oh, these guys look like some big frauds.
Does it come with the wheel?
They got to. You know what I realized? They got to stop making it look so obvious.
Exactly.
This is like the tulip boom from like 1912, where tulips in Europe were selling for like $1,000 a bulb, and then it lasted all of 2 years, and then the market collapsed because people realized, wait, this is bullshit. This isn't going to last. This is a temporary bubble that's going to burst because these games are not worth this much money, and they can try to scam us all they want, but it's transparent that it is a scam, and no one's actually buying these auctions. They're selling it to themselves.
Someone's gonna be left with that.
Sometimes there are some people who are buying into it. I've seen some people who have pretty crazy graded video game collections.
I need the bubble.
No one's dropping 2 mil on Super Mario Bros.
I need the bubble to burst for
No.
Pokemon box. Okay, let's do that.
That's only going up. It's only going up.
No, it's
a good
fallen
time
a
to
little
buy.
bit. It's fallen a little bit. All right, it's down to
We'll buy it now
$1,300
before
right
it
now.
goes back up.
I think that's the most expensive game on the GameCube.
Is that what it costs sealed? Or just in
1,300
general?
complete in box 1,300, and it's not even a game.
Nope.
Okay. All right, that's fine. So we'll see. I mean, like I said, I hope there's WATA sealed games at Too Many Games, just so I can see Sean.
Can you imagine if you
have a
walked into like
breakdown.
GameStop? Can you imagine going to like GameStop when they had a bunch of retro used games and you saw Halo and they were selling it for like $700? People would say, "No wonder this company should go bankrupt. That's ridiculous." You can go to Goodwill and find a copy of probably a sealed copy of Halo Combat Evolved for like $5.
Let me go over to the super chats here. We have Jeffrey Tucker who says, "Should I buy Pokemon Pearl complete in box or Metroid Fusion complete in box? Which would accrue more value?"
Don't buy it for value. Buy it for what you want.
That's a good. I mean, Fusion.
Hello,
John, your mic.
John.
Oh, excellent.
And ninjas got him. They don't want
The
to talk
WATA
about
ninjas. I like this person, Illuma Donkey. Is this the new version of buying into a timeshare vacation?
Yes.
I feel like Fusion would probably be. I don't know, Pokemon Pearl or Fusion. I'm
John.
Fusion.
There is a 95 graded VGA Pokemon box for 100,000. Buy it now on eBay, just in case you were looking.
That's
for
not
it.
bad. That's not bad.
Yeah, it's a 95. That's pretty high.
Good.
You know, it's a good investment right there. It's totally not going to go down at all.
I'm gonna go with. But Pokemon always goes up. I don't know. I
So-
would stick with Fusion to a Metroid fan.
Who grades action
more rare.
figures? Who grades action figures? Because I just
don't
bought
know.
a bunch of fucking sealed X-Men action figures.
My friend knows because he graded a bunch of his. I'll let you
Oh,
know.
there you go. There you go.
Action- I'm gonna get them all graded. Yeah, I bought a couple more too.
Paleo's
Well,
Paleo.
more? You just bought $300 worth.
Well, it didn't come with Juggernaut, and I needed Juggernaut.
Everyone
and
loves
then
Juggernaut.
How could they not?
that's the only character I wanted really that wasn't in that collection. And then the guy had it where if you buy one thing, you got 15% off your other one. And so Bishop seems like a kind of expensive one, so I bought Bishop as well, and I got 15% off that.
Didn't
But I'm
didn't
done.
that series,
That's all I want.
but didn't that series have a
I
giant
have Gambit.
sentinel as well? Couldn't you just get the giant sentinel to go behind it?
Oh, that'd be cool.
Now you're thinking. I see it. I see it in
Well,
your face.
see, here's a fucked up thing. I've already come up with exactly what I'm going to do with all these figures. They're going to surround the X-Men arcade one-up cabinet because I'm the weak motherfucker and I'm going to buy it.
You could have the sentinel on top, just towering over everyone. Go for it.
Oh gosh. Paleo says, with the retro market getting dumb, would it be foolish to keep trying for my goal of getting every Nintendo published retail game in North America, or should I
Yes.
just quit now? I'm about
Quit.
25% complete in the goal.
Quit. Don't do that to yourself. Unless you're willing to travel to the annals of the earth and look at like fucking flea markets and like doo-doo Hicktown, USA, where you might get shot. Get out. Get out.
This is from Jeffrey saying, you saw this, Sean, per my trusted source on 4chan, Damian Lillard to the
Yes,
Sixers
I saw
deal.
that.
Once he found out TMG or Too Many Games was coming to town, his mind was made up. We can say this now because there was an announcement on Twitter. Myself, probably Sean. He's pretending like he's not. He's gonna be there. Everyone's gonna be there. He's gonna be there. Scott will be there at Too Many Games.
Yeah.
Jordan, Evan, Click, OJ, and we'll see about Nate. You know, we'll never know. Nate could just go and never tell anyone, and we wouldn't know if he was there or not.
I could be there and you'll
I'd know.
never know.
Well, I'm about to say Jordan would
Shut
know.
up.
Oh, Jordan would know. Well, it's gonna be up to Jordan if he'll decide to point him out or not.
Jordan's
I
like,
will
hey everyone,
shave
this is Nate.
I will
hey,
shave
everyone,
my
this
head
is Nate.
bald. I will go.
I'm gonna
clean
hire
shaven.
someone that I'm gonna pretend is Nate.
You can pretend it's Nate.
I'll say he
Worst part
can't
is you
speak.
could
He heard
do
his
that,
voice.
and no one would know.
Oh,
No one
There
would
would be
know.
a single
It's-
person who would have an
it's-
idea.
it's gonna be fun, so everyone should come out. It's in like the Philadelphia area in Pennsylvania, so it'll be good. We'll have like a live SpawnCast there, and then I'm sure Scott will be doing something there. He had a very good panel last time, so
Thank you. I hope this year it smells worse because people hyped it up smelling really bad. Because
that
I've
was your
never been to
first
a con
convention.
before.
Yeah,
It didn't smell as bad as I wanted it to, so I'm like, man, it better stink.
they do
this
a
year.
good job with
Leave
Too
them
Many
open.
Games because it's very open. Like you
Yeah.
walk out there
Yeah.
and the ceiling is like, there's a lot of open air, so.
Yeah.
The stink just goes up, I think, is what it is. So.
Yeah, it's unfortunate. I gotta find the stinkier cons. I gotta know what cons stink.
They did their best.
Like.
They packed a lot of people into your room, so
it's you know.
Paxi
I'll tell.
Paxi smells pretty bad.
They handed out deodorant.
It's just I'll not bathe beforehand. Let's see what happens. Yeah.
I think it was the Twitch booth. They handed people little deodorant sticks. And it was right at the bottom of the escalator because they were like, everyone stinks at this convention, and they just handed it to anyone who walked by.
Do people really go there smelling like ass? Is that like a
there are
common thing?
legitimately people that absolutely reek at events.
Yes.
And now we're hearing all this stuff about all these celebrities not bathing, so it all makes sense. If the celebrities aren't bathing, a lot of these normal people aren't bathing either. So I mean, it makes complete sense.
You don't need baths if you have Axe body spray.
That's what I was told.
High school taught us anything.
Axe bath meds.
Pixelated says, oh, that's right, John. If RGT tried to do German suplex you, do you think you'd come up with a counter? The flipping counter, yeah, absolutely. I think Sean could. I think that could work.
Yeah,
I mean,
what if he arcade OU?
I mean, I'd sell that. That'd be a fun move to sell. Absolutely. But there's a whole wrestling match that goes on at too many games. You gonna get on that, Sean?
I want to go through a table.
I thought that's what I thought would be the best is if you did go through a table. You think they 3D or just push you off the turnbuckle and you go through a table?
I think a power bomb would be good.
Wow. Okay.
No, I mean, because really, as long as you land flat on your back, like you're okay. You just got to learn how to take a bump.
There's that, and then the metal frame under it has to be cut on both sides, or you're gonna fuck yourself up.
Are you trying to people at too many games? The pop-up wrestling ring does cut the table. Right?
You go with the adrenaline rush side of things.
Maybe
just hope that adrenaline rush kicks in and fuck it.
They'll sprinkle a few water sealed games on top of the table. You go right through it.
Yeah,
I'll bring the pizza cutter.
Wrestling's fake, but then it's real at the same time, man. It's like people get jacked up in wrestling.
That would probably be the best part of the show is to see Sean go through a table. That'd be incredible. James says Star Fox seems like it is in stasis. Breath of the Wild 2 may have dungeons, but still won't be a traditional 3D Zelda. Would you like a Star Fox Adventures to fill the gap? I like Star Fox Adventures. Not a lot of people like it. I thought that was a fun game.
Assault.
Sonny says, MVG, when do you plan on porting Doom to the Amico?
Got to. It'd be a lot of work to put it on the Amico. Plus, it was just the Amico was delayed again, which might be coming out at the end of this year, might not. So, we'll try to make it work whenever the system comes out. But until we get our hands on it, there's not much we can do.
I'm glad MVG can make it tonight.
Andrew says, Scott, are you going to too many games?
Yeah, probably. They said I am, so I think I kind of have to at this point, but we'll see.
Plum says, would Gravity Rush Plus 2 perform better if it was ported to PC or Switch? I think it would, given another niche games find success on those platforms. Well, it can't do any worse.
Yeah, it'll do at least a little bit better. I think Gravity Rush would do well on Nintendo platforms. It just would need to be marketed well. Like Sony never really pushed it enough, really. Like, as in, like, Gravity Rush Remastered on PS4 was an Amazon exclusive over here. Like, they just kind of sent it out to die.
Well, it popped up on the physical copy.
You mean the physical copy was on Best Buy? Yeah, I bought mine at Best Buy.
What the physical copy?
What information did I get then?
The physical copy popped up on GameStop.
I've that for 3 years.
They got a bunch of like used copies in out of nowhere, which was weird. For Gravity Rush Remastered on the PS4.
Yeah, I saw that.
And they were sending them out, and people were getting them fine. It came with the box art and everything.
They were selling them for like 60. Weren't they selling them
$60?
For like, yeah, they were selling them for 60, which is 20 over the MSRP. 20 over the MSRP.
But it's less than what it is on eBay. So they're like, I'm curious where they got it from.
Yeah, I really want to know because like I heard somebody, I was having a conversation with somebody about that because of like the used game market. Like, oh well, look, you can get a bunch of copies of that. I'm like, dude, where the hell did they get those? This seems to me like very reminds me of like Xenoblade Chronicles, kind of like what they did. I
wonder if they found a bunch of sealed ones in a warehouse. They bought it as a lot. And they opened them.
They got it,
sold them for $20 more. I bet you that's what happened.
I'm almost positive that's what they did.
Nate, what happened?
Someone I know got one. It had a sticker on it.
Oh,
Like it had a sticker that I don't even believe it was a GameStop sticker. So
interesting.
They didn't reprint. This isn't a reprint like Xenoblade.
Where did they find these though? These were nowhere. Then all of a sudden they just show up.
Did GameStop buy out another small company and get their stock in and try to just get it out there?
Could happen too.
I thought, like Scott, I thought this was it was a limited physical release through Amazon. So
okay, I'm not aware of how it was sold.
Articles that are saying it's exclusive. It was exclusive to Amazon. I see like eBay listings where they say, "Oh, it was an Amazon exclusive," but I'm not seeing like. It's weird. I mean, anything just says like, "Oh, we saw an Amazon listing for Gravity Rush Remastered," and from everything I remember, it was an Amazon exclusive. But I'm not seeing any articles that say, "Oh, it's exclusive to Amazon." That's weird.
Christo says, "Much congrats to both Jordan on 100K subs and Miss Click for being able to passionately talk about her favorite Zelda series last weekend."
Yay.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Jalen says, "Shout out to Sean. Been enjoying your live streams. Keep up the good work. Would you ever consider creating a Twitch channel?" Thank you, Sean. Dreadful says, "The new teaser for Metroid 5 million has me hyped."
What the hell game is that?
Metroid 5, and then they have like in parentheses million, like 5 million copies. D Jones says, "Remember, if video games don't have amazing fruit physics, then why bother playing them? The internet is funny."
God, that tweet was so cringe.
I mean, that was probably the person who's just getting killed by bots anyway. So they're like, I might as well just shoot some fruit. So Mike says, "Super Mario Sunshine has amazing fruit physics." Dreadful Robs.
Yeah, right.
Steam Deck will be. Did you just compliment Mario Sunshine, Nate?
I've complimented the water, the mirror, and the fruit, and it has a good soundtrack.
We're making progress.
Everything else is terrible.
Dreadful Rob says, "Steam Deck will be great for 360 era games like Arkham. Stadia is better." Says, "Just wanted to spread the message that Neo World Ends With You is fantastic. It's my game of the year so far. Also, Xbox Killer sucks. Love the podcast, and as OJ here. How's $5?
Yeah.
Yes, there is. Truly Epic says, "What's the best retro gaming system to collect for in 2021 that won't break the bank? Been collecting GameCube games, and it's been really expensive. It absolutely has been. I mean, right now, you could get in on the original Xbox is a good one.
The original Xbox has always been dirt cheap.
Yeah.
I don't know how much.
DS, it's getting up there. The Wii, Scott, you told me the Wii's been getting kind of out of control recently. So even that's like,
yeah,
tough.
There's, I mean, it depends on what you consider a retro. Because it's just like it's weird to consider something like the Wii retro, but it's gonna be 15 years old this year. So it's just like it's getting up there. Yeah, the Wii. I mean, like the Wii has a lot of stuff. I think like a lot of the big stuff is like getting expensive, but you know, like I think like pretty much any console that you have nostalgia for or you have kind of a love for, like you're gonna find like stuff that you can collect like within a budget kind of thing. You know, I just recommend starting with something that you like and you know. And then gradually you're going to spread. It's going to spread to other consoles and stuff.
Yeah, if you had the GameCube, I would even stay in that generation and maybe go to like the original Xbox or even the PS2, just because you can collect a lot of cheap games on the PS2 that are good and still play them now, and they're a lot of fun. And the PS2 has support for component cables, so like the HDMI cables you use are a little better than like the systems that just have analog out. So I'd go, if you're branching off from the GameCube and you want it to stay consoles, like PS2 or Xbox, those are a bit easier to get started with, I would say.
Yeah, I'd say if you want to get into RPGs and stuff, then you're probably you have to set aside a loan or something like that.
Yeah,
I think I saw like Persona 2 or something is going for like $700.
Yep.
Or something. That's
expensive.
Gross. That's disgusting.
VCIPZ says, "Favorite game on the Switch that nobody talks about."
Favorite game on the Switch that nobody talks about like anymore, or just nobody talked about in general?
Just nobody talks about.
Mystery Dungeon.
Oh,
I talked about that one.
Yeah, out of pity.
Sushi Striker.
No, Sushi Striker is that's good. That game I think
Sushi Striker is pretty fun. It's just there's not a lot to it, I think.
Okay. Yeah, that it came out at I think a bad time and a bad pricing, and people just kind of walked right by it, unfortunately.
Yeah, well, it's pretty cheap now, isn't it?
Yeah, but when it
seen it on sale for
when
like
it came
$10.
out, when it came out. I think it was like $50.
It was a $50
Yeah,
game.
you can get it for like $15 now.
I bought it for $17. I have a sealed copy just because I wanted another one.
You get that graded?
It's gonna be the next Devil's Third. It's
as
gonna
long
be
as Wada grades it might be selling $1 million.
I wanted a sealed copy. Of the game. It's cheap.
I bought the 3DS version. I think the 3DS version will probably be more like expensive later down the line. A lot of those 3DS games. A lot of those 3DS games are gonna be. Those are getting up there in price too.
Mm-hmm.
Voxel says John is the glue that holds the gaming cinematic universe together. I like that gaming cinematic universe, the GCU. You know that. Fishfan says, great to see the Waz here. Thanks for a good show, Spawn Crew. RGT, any good eats from Gmail this week? Thanks, RGT. Illumatronic says, I haven't really played any games from 2020 except for Later Alligator. I don't think any other game will top it for me. It's adorable and I love it. Cole says, anyone see the new Suicide Squad movie? What do you think? My favorite DC movie since Dark Knight Trilogy. I've not seen it. It's on WB, right? Or HBO Max.
Yeah.
There we go.
And in theaters.
I saw it in theaters.
Yeah. I watched
like
it last night.
It was okay.
Okay.
Yeah, I liked it. I liked it a lot. It was fun.
PTP says, shout out to RGT for his great pre-show. He answered many questions and told a great story about the Master Sword. Nate, who's the best player in MLB?
The best player in MLB?
Yes.
Batu Peach.
I mean, the real answer is Mike Trout, but he's injured. So
Oh gosh, this is going to turn into a whole thing, isn't it?
I get Mike Trout is just the easy default option. He's the best player.
Hey, that racist Paul Konerko.
He's not playing baseball anymore. He retired.
This is truly epic. Says, no wonder RGT wants to justify punching horses. Okay.
Yeah, Vladimir Guerrero
like
Jr. should be up there too. He could be considered.
Trump says, what's more likely, Mother 3 localized or Metal Gear Rising remaster? I'm going to say Metal Gear Rising remaster.
Yeah, I would love it.
Yeah. Gustavo Lopez. They have like little stickers now. It's cool. And then Travis O'Leary, another little sticker there. A little thumbs up. Andrew says, someone tell Sean the Raptors Summer League team is going to smack the Knicks.
The Raptors Summer Team League is going to smack the Knicks.
I'm eating a bowl of cereal. That's why I'm muting myself. But no, they're Raptors. Get out, Raptors. Come on, that's the bottom of the barrel team buddy.
What kind of cereal are you eating?
Frosted Flakes.
Okay, good.
Didn't they just lose Kyle Lowry too? They just lost one of their best
They
players.
have nobody. They have Pascal Siakam, who's not even happy there, who got a gross overpay, by the way.
What the hell did you just say?
I have no idea.
Pascal
Siakam.
Yeah.
Yakum.
Sounds racist to me.
No, he's his name. No, he's a tall black guy.
The game warden says, does anyone here like Vagrant's story? And do you think that would be a good remake? Good remaster, probably. I don't know if
Remaster.
buy a remake of it, but
Make that shit HD. That would look beautiful.
Oh, this is from LR Napa. Yo, Scott, what do you think about the Steam Deck? Well, it says, love you guys.
Man, I mean,
first of all, are you buying
me
a Steam
PC?
Deck?
That'd actually give me a PC, wouldn't it? So I can't possibly get it.
Oh, you're a Mac guy. That's right.
Yeah, I'm one of those guys. I don't know. It's pretty cool. I don't really think it's gonna light the world on fire, just because like it's mainly just advertised towards the core audience, not necessarily like like something like the Nintendo Switch is like focused towards the mainstream audience, and this one feels more like specifically for a Steam user that has a ton of games and they want to play on the go. It kind of go, and it's like it looks really cool for what it is. I'll wait to see like reviews for it. But at the moment, that's kind of where I'm at, where I'm kind of like, I'll wait to see reviews. If it's really cool and it really is like everything that it sets out to be, then I'll consider picking one up. But I don't have a big Steam library as it is, so I don't know if it's a big the most crazy investment for somebody like me.
Okay, and then Andrew says, what is the one game you can say that you mastered? I'm going to say the original Mega Man or Mega Man X. We'll move over to
Spyro the Dragon.
The first Fear game.
Okay, let's talk about some early Game of the Year thoughts. The reason I brought this up is because I had talked about a game online, and some people had mentioned, it's felt like a weaker year in games. And I think that might be because Microsoft hasn't really released anything this year. up until obviously the holiday coming up. Sony had a couple of games, but it wasn't like a God of War or Horizon. I'm thinking that's why people are kind of feeling this way. We know a lot of delays have happened into next year as well. There were people who are hopeful that Breath of the Wild 2 would have come out this holiday. That's in 2022, for example. But I wanted to bring this up now because we're going into the holidays here, and there are going to be games that are coming out. But I figure if we, in August, since we're 8 months into the year, go over what we think could be game of the year or some of our better games, and then we see how they change when we get to the game of the year conversation in like end of November, early December overall. So where are we right now in 2021? What's everyone's favorite games currently that you would put in the game of the year category right now if you had to start making that list?
Monster Hunter Rise, Resident Evil Village.
Let me put this down. I'm going to put this down right now so we come back to it. I just want to see if we have to start taking stuff off and putting things on. We got to come up with a list with 6 games.
I wasn't a huge fan of Resident Evil Village, but I could see why people would consider that a game of the year. Monster Hunter Rise, I think, is self-explanatory. You can put Ratchet on there too. I wouldn't put Returnal, even though some people would. I think it's way too niche.
If it had a save feature, I would.
Monster Hunter Rise, you said. You got Ratchet.
That's all I want. I just want to be able to save the game. That's it.
Clank.
I really wish they added a save.
What else did you have, Sean? You got Ratchet and Clank. All right, so you got to pick 2, Sean. What do you got? What are the 2 you got? Absolutely, that you would throw in.
Right now, today, I would say Monster Hunter Rise and Ratchet and Clank.
Okay, that's fine. That's
and these
fine.
are like, I feel like it's tough because it's like there are a lot of remasters, a lot of new like collections coming out. Like I feel like this is like kind of tough. I feel like normally I'm like, this is my game of the year, but I feel like it's hard for me to really like one comes to mind immediately. I have to like think back to what I've played this year.
This is why I'm so interested in the game of the year this year specifically, because there isn't like Breath of the Wild or like God of War or even Last of Us 2, a game that like stands out in terms of its quality right now this year. And I don't know if we're going to even see that like by the end of the year where everyone just looks at it and is like, yes, that's definitely game of the year. No real questions asked. It's obvious that this is probably what's going to win. Kind of like how we were with God of War, even though God of War was up there with Red Dead Redemption 2, I feel like a lot of people looked at God of War and they were like, that's probably going to win. A lot of people looked at Breath of the Wild. They're like, yeah, it's probably going to win. But like this year, I don't know. I'm even looking at games coming up and like Battlefield and Call of Duty are going to be viewed as more just action games. I think Halo is going to be viewed like that too, unless the campaign does some like crazy stuff. I don't know if that's even going to be in there.
The campaign needs to be something insane. And I think that maybe it gets into that conversation. I think a lot of the reviewers love Forza. I think that has a good chance, even though it's a car racing game. But here's the thing with Forza, it has its own category. It has the racing sports category that they made for it. But it could also win Game of the Year too, though. Maybe. Like I'm talking about from mainstream.
Yeah, well, I'm trying to figure out when the last racing game was in there, because I don't think we've ever had a racing game in Game of the Year conversation, which is interesting.
Gran Turismo back in the day used to be.
Yeah, probably on the PS2 era.
I think it's tough for racing games though, because I think a lot of people like when they associate Game of the Year. Gameplay is definitely a big of it, but also, the music, the atmosphere, the story. I think narrative games definitely hit that, that element harder. You know what I mean? So it's like, I like Monster Hunter Rise. Like to me, I'd say that's one of the favorite games I've played this year, but the story and the narrative was so generic to me that it even makes me hard to like want to sell that, even if that makes sense.
Someone mentioned Cyberpunk. Cyberpunk would technically be up, wouldn't it?
It would, but it would most likely need that, like what we were talking about a long time ago, that they would repackage it after a bunch of updates and try to resell it to everyone.
Yep.
They need that next gen version to hit this holiday if they really want to be in that conversation.
Do we count Mario 3D World and Bowser's Fury because Bowser's Fury is new content?
I mean, technically, I don't know. I think you could include it if you wanted to.
I think that depends on if you include the game that OJ and I would probably choose this year for the best game of the year.
Mass Effect. That's the best game.
Yeah,
that's the best game.
That's the best gaming experience I've had this year.
But that's just like a remastered collection, right?
It is a remastered. That's the thing.
Yeah.
But it is a.
They did a lot of work on the first game.
Yeah, but like remember Resident Evil 2? Like when that came out and that was thrown into Game of the Year, there was a lot of controversy around, a lot of pushback. Because they're like, it's a remake, but it's from PS1 all the way up to end. It looked incredible and played different.
And it's a very different game at the end of the day. Like they're very different. The Mass Effect Legendary Edition is the same game pretty much.
But still the best game I played this.
Yeah. I think one game that's going to be that's being overlooked in the discussion.
Don't say it. You better not say it.
It's because no one's played it. It's Chicory, A Colorful Tale on PC and PlayStation 5. No one's played it, and
I thought you were
as a top 5 in review scores of the year.
Oh, you know what? Let's pull that up real quick. Let me pull up the old best games from Metacritic scores, because that's usually what happens. Well, at least usually I should say, because we saw it happen with Fire Emblem.
Data Morgana is not going to be nominated for Game of the Year on Switch, despite having a 98 Metacritic.
What's not going to the house? Okay, the house in Morgana.
That's not going to be nominated.
Why? It has the best score.
Scott, you're gonna have to look into this.
10
one
reviews.
Us,
all right?
So not enough reviews.
I just don't think we can really count remakes, because that's the case. And Skyward Sword's included, and honestly, I would include Skyward Sword again. So
that's a good point.
Let's go with remake.
Original games. We're going like original games then.
Yeah, they're not going to include. Okay. They're not going. They can include a remake like Final Fantasy VII. If it's like a complete
that's more of a
reimagining of the game, it can't be like a remaster or like a port. If it's a remaster or port or like like Mass Effect Legendary, upscale, whatever the case, it falls into any of that. They're just not gonna put it there, even though somebody might like it the most. I know me and Jordan were like, "Yo, that it felt like a new game." It felt like something new, but it's not.
It felt real to me, damn it.
So if we go down
like
from
something like Skyward Sword HD is literally Skyward Sword, but in HD. Something like Final Fantasy VII Remake.
Completely different.
Final Fantasy VII Remake is
changed everything
more. Final Fantasy VII Remake is more based on Final Fantasy VII, kind of like how The Witcher 3 is based on the Witcher series of books.
Right.
It's not the same, but also kind of
so if I got on the list here after that Morgana game, Disco Elysium Final Cut, Microsoft Flight Simulator going to the Xbox, Tony Hawk Pro Skater 1 and 2, the PS5 version. Well, I mean that came out last year,
though, right?
The flight simulator that came out last year, technically.
What's the cutoff date? Is it like
and technically Disco Elysium Elysium already won in the year prior, so
that's what I mean. I'm going. I think they're gonna put it at the end of November this time, is what they were saying. So I don't know.
Well, Smash Ultimate got nominated for 2019's Game of the Year. Yeah. So it's just like something. I honestly do think Cyberpunk has a good chance of getting nominated.
It might
this year. What else are you gonna nominate? Mario Golf?
Apparently, Chicory, A Colorful Tale.
A lot of people in chat keep saying Kina. So
I'm saying right now we have to get there.
We're judging on games that are out on market right now. We don't know if Kina is actually going to be good.
Yeah, we need to see. Then there's let's see. Okay, so after Chicory, there is Mass Effect Legendary Edition. It Takes Two, which might actually sneak in.
You might see a lot of indie representation this year due to the limited amount of AAA releases.
Yeah,
but they're not going to win. That's the thing.
FF7 Remake Integrate, 3D World plus Bowser's Fury, Tony Hawk Pro Skater 1 and 2 on the Xbox. It Takes Two again. Disco Elysium Final Cut, Fez. It Takes Two. DLC from Streets of Rage.
Yeah, I think Fez has a good shot.
Could Integrate be included? Because Integrate was good. But it was so short.
It's like Bowser's Fury almost.
It'd have to be Bowser's Fury then, yeah. And then we get the Ratchet and Clank Rift Apart, which a lot of people.
Hitman 3. I think Hitman 3 is going to be the the wild card. It's just going to be like.
I think they're just going to give it a Ratchet and call it a year.
I agree.
And then we get to Monster Hunter Rise, and then we get to what is currently my game of the year.
Death's Door.
It is Death's Door.
Oh, I haven't got to play it yet.
Is currently my game of the year based on what's out right now. It is on the list.
I want to play it.
Let's go. Everyone should play it. It is very good. It is $20. It is on the PC and the Xbox. I'm sure it's going to go to other platforms later. It's from Devolver, and I think it's a timed exclusive thing they have right now. It doesn't take much to play it on a PC, and it'll play fine on the VCR Xbox because it's not necessarily graphically intensive, but it is a very good game, and I think everyone should experience it.
It looked fun.
We've had John Riggs on the cast before. He was playing it the other day. I was like, oh, this looks great.
It's an isometric like think of top-down Zelda. It has technically traditional dungeons, and it has a bit more difficulty, not necessarily like a Souls-like difficulty, but it is harder than what you get out of traditional Zelda games.
And the bosses look fantastic in it.
Bosses are awesome. They're all very different and unique, and you get different upgrades and stuff that you can find in the world. They just kind of go around, like it's free roaming essentially after you get to a certain point. And the game itself plays well, feels really good playing it. So I completely recommend it at $20. I think it is a game that could find its way into the game of the year conversation if we don't have anything that just like completely blows people away. So definitely one that I was not expecting to be as good as it was. So make sure everyone checks that one out.
Yeah, my problem is that I've been basically playing like pretty much all the games that have come out this year that I've been interested in are re-releases and remasters,
yes,
and whatnot. Like even like most of Nintendo's releases are like remasters of some sort, or you have 3D World, and then even like stuff like Miitopia, Famicom Detective Club, Skyward Sword, all that stuff. You know, and then Sony is pretty much done with the year.
Yeah, it's weird.
When did the awards last year? What was the deadline?
I thought it was like November 10th or 11th or something.
It was like,
that.
second half of November. Like your game can't be past like the second half of November.
So did Miles Morales and Demon's Souls make the cut for last year, or will be in the discussion for this year?
Oh,
I don't remember Miles Morales getting anything.
Because that completely shifts the conversation.
That's a good point.
That's true.
I think they do this like Miles Morales. It's a new game, but it's like expansion-ish kind of. It's still a new game, but it's like way shorter than the normal Spider-Man. So I'm not sure if that'll be included.
I'm kind of thinking Demon's Souls is going to win something. I don't know if it'll be in Game of the Year conversation. It might win something. They might do like best visuals or score or something. Orchestral.
I think they need to introduce like a remaster or remake category.
I like the idea of that.
Yeah.
I agree.
There's so many that happen each year now that it's just like I think it would be a worthwhile category.
Yep, absolutely. It's been like next year, we think anyway, based on some rumors, Dead Space could even release then. So like it's not slowing down with these remakes or remasters. Nintendo will do some more. Sony, I'm sure, will do some stuff. And
I will say this: there's still one more. I mean, we got Metroid Dread this year, so we'll see how that game reviews. We'll see how the games are good.
Come on. Oh my god!
What? Sean burst into laughter almost instantly.
Can we mute this guy? Can we mute this guy?
Metroid Dread's not worth talking about.
Another one we have Crash Bandicoot 4. It's About Time. That has an 86 on Metacritic.
Switch port.
PS5. That's right.
Yeah,
that's right. Yeah, it came out this year. That's what I mean. I'm going down Metacritic. I'm like, man, all these games, like it's like we've already had them. Like the Neo collection. It's like Yakuza Like a Dragon. That was out last year. It's just on the PS5 this year. Yeah, it's tough. Like you gotta really start digging down to these.
Do you think they're still gonna have the best fighting game category at the Game Awards?
What fighting game came out this year? Guilty Gear?
They never have fighting games, and then they just.
We are disrespecting Guilty Gear right now.
No, I said Guilty Gear is like is Guilty Gear the only game that came out? Hold on.
The Nickelodeon game.
They'll put smaller ones next to it.
Did Jump Force get a re-release or DLC?
No.
Let me double check. We got to double check.
There is another one coming out this year. I saw some indie studios.
I've checked with my sources, and it's definitely getting. It got like one of the JoJo's. It got one of the JoJo's. Giorno. It got Giorno. I think this year. So and it's getting more DLC. So Jump Force.
Finally, the recognition it deserves.
Fighting game of the nominee of the year, Jump Force.
Yes.
All right. Thanks, David, for becoming a member. We appreciate it.
Outriders came out this year.
It did.
Outriders did. It did.
That'll probably get something because what else? I don't know.
Shooting game.
What else came out this year?
I don't know. Action game.
Sure. Live service. I don't know. Are they still supporting that game?
New Snap.
I think this just really goes to show, like, obviously how much the pandemic really affected things on projects that were started before and like well into development, which we're still able to release this past year in 2020 and like probably be delayed by a couple months versus games that they definitely needed the time and all the resources and they haven't been able to finish these in time because at least from what I've heard, there are actually quite a few games that are in the works that are going to be awesome, but they definitely got absolutely destroyed because of this pandemic. So I think this year is definitely evident that the gaming industry. I mean, every industry really got hurt, but we're kind of grasping for straws at this point.
We're trying to come up with like right now. I put 4 on here so far: Monster Hunter Rise, Ratchet & Clank, Death's Door, and It Takes Two. And we need to come up with. We have to come up with 2 more.
You throw in, and then you throw in Halo when that comes out.
Well, we're just going with games that are out right now, like just looking at the last 8 months, basically.
Like, you can put Resident Evil in there.
Yeah, Resident Evil Village was
Village. Yeah, already Village. I'll go in.
I definitely feel like Resident Evil and Ratchet and Clank are going to be like the top 2 contenders that I see, but I genuinely wouldn't be surprised if Ratchet got it, because the fact that not only is it a new original game, but also like all the future potential it shows in comparison to games that are already out in the market right now. Like, I think a lot of people will count that as something kind of, with all the PS5 capabilities, a reason to be game of the year, because it's so forward.
So I'm looking down the list here, and like it comes down to, at this point, seemingly Returnal or Hitman 3. It's like where we are with it. I kind of lean towards Hitman 3 because of how interesting and different it was, but
I feel like Returnal has more of a conversation going on around it. Like, even now.
I think so too. Yeah. So I'll drop Returnal in there. So right now, as of August 7th, 2021, the game of the year list would be Monster Hunter Rise, Ratchet & Clank, Death's Door, It Takes Two, Resident Evil Village, and Returnal.
Those are good games.
It's not. I mean, you can't have, a heavy hitter every year, right? Especially after a pandemic.
I mean, I don't think any of these games were rated in the even in the 90s on Metacritic.
How did director's cuts hold up?
What?
Going in for the Death Stranding.
Kind of just like
Death Stranding director's
round 2.
cut. What's Tsushima director's cut?
I hope that gets reviewed again, and it does some crazy number or something. We already know
review scores don't matter how high your score game, like how high this, it doesn't matter, right? There's no way it matters. Control and Death Stranding are the 2 greatest games ever.
I still can't believe Control is up there like that. I must have played a completely different game.
Oh, you played the same game. They just didn't have anything else to talk. They didn't play anything else. They're like, oh snap, Control. They didn't play all the games that were good that year, so they said,
"What I skip, Scott? We can change stuff out."
You skipped over the house in Fata Morgana.
That's the one I said we need you to check out. I don't know what it is.
Yeah, I'll download it right now.
It's the number 1 game, right, on the Metacritic.
It did come out on PC a couple of years ago, though.
Where's Guilty Gear Strive and all this? Because that game's been doing awesome. So
Guilty Gear Strive, I guess, is the fighting game of the year.
They always relegate that to fighting game. It'll probably be up against is it Retromania? That'll be on the list or something.
When can a fighting game go up for game of the year?
Smash did it, right?
Smash. That's the only one that I can think about. Smash recently, at least. Smash.
I mean, Street Fighter 6 would have to come out and be ridiculous or something.
Did Mortal Kombat get into game of the? I don't know if Mortal Kombat.
I don't think it did.
Mortal Kombat 11 got fighting game of the year like last year.
Yeah,
which was funny.
So it's So this list is. We'll see. I have a feeling it's going to change quite a bit as we get towards the end of the year with some of these games coming out. So we'll see how it goes. I just wanted to reflect on the last 8 months because it felt like people were saying like it was a little quiet this year, and that makes sense with a lot of the delays and stuff that was happening. And now I'm looking at the list and I'm like, yeah, I mean, has a Monster Hunter game ever been nominated for Game of the Year?
Yeah, Monster
World.
Yeah.
World was. Okay, World was. Got it. That'll work. All right, cool. Evan, we got Discord questions?
Games like Hades and Octopath coming to the Xbox this summer do not have cross-platform progression. He's got to start both over if he wants to play it on that system. Should more games have cross-progression?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Please. Because like Monster Hunter Rise comes out next year. I want to get that on PC, but I don't want to start over on PC. You know, right. I want to get Monster Hunter Stories 2 on PC just so I can have my little portable version with the Switch and have the PC version, but there's no cross like.
Oh, Rise is probably gonna look really good on PC also
with the good frame rate.
Well, with how it runs on the Switch and looks and everything, it's probably gonna look crazy and run really well.
I just don't feel like starting.
And you don't have to pay for the online. Oh, it's gonna be great.
Just don't want to start over though. That's my only problem.
Yeah, that's one I kind of feel like Capcom would probably do cross progression.
They didn't do it with Monster Hunter Stories 2 though, and it's like right there for them to do it so people can buy 2 copies of the game. I don't know why they didn't, because it would have been perfect, because that game plays okay in handheld. You can play it as your handheld game, and then play the game on PC if you want to play it, with better frame rate and everything. But I don't feel like playing 2 versions. Like I don't know why Capcom's not. I hope they do.
They want you to double dip. That's all it is.
I would double dip if they supported it.
Encourages it more to have cross progression.
I think Hades. I thought Hades does have it on
Well, from Switch to PC,
right?
has cross, so that's why it's surprising
we're
that
talking
Xbox
about
didn't have it.
Okay, I see you're talking about Xbox to or PC, or I should say Switch to Xbox, or just all basically just be able to pass your save on this thing. Yeah. That is interesting because you feel like through like the cloud, they'd have any game be able to access it, but I don't know, maybe it's just different for each system or something.
At the bare minimum, it should always be on PC. Like you should always be able to take your save from PlayStation, Xbox, or Switch. Maybe not from Xbox to Switch and all that, right? That doesn't, but definitely to PC. And some games have been missing it, so I'm not double dipping on some of these games, which sucks. So I'd like to.
We got no Discord question, Evan?
How much do you think Halo Infinite will sell? And I think he's referring specifically to the story mode.
I think that number is gonna be really weird because I don't think Xbox is gonna tell us like how we have Nintendo or Sony tell us numbers like that. They're gonna tell us how many people are playing the game.
Yeah,
is what they're gonna do.
It'll probably be drastically less than the total amount of people playing.
Yes, there's gonna be a lot of people because it's free to play.
Yeah, because that's not a bad thing. It's just how it's gonna be.
Yeah, they're going to be like, hey, look, we have so many millions of people playing it right now. To Microsoft, that's a win anyway. The campaign side, though, again, that just exists to bring people into Game Pass. That's really the only reason campaign even exists, because like at this point, you can just download the multiplayer. You don't even need Xbox Live Gold to play it because it's technically a free-to-play game. So you don't have to pay for online to play it. So it's I don't think they're going to tell us sales. They'll just tell us how many people are playing, and then we can kind of try to guess at it. But I think Halo Infinite, based on what I played for the weekend, is going to do really well when it launches. Mechanically, it is very sound, and I'm hoping the campaign is good. So, got another Discord question, Evan?
Yeah, I got a few more.
Okay, let's go through them.
Anyone hear any updates or anything about Shovel Knight Dig?
No. That fell off like the radar completely. I think. I don't know what happened to that. Hopefully it pops back up. I'm more wondering about a sports story. So we got like an indie showcase or something coming up here soon, so I can see that.
Hollow Knight, Silk Song, where is it?
Yeah, there's a lot of indies we need to see some of these indies here soon. So I don't know, maybe Nintendo has something planned. I know Microsoft has something this week coming up, but
is this the year where Battlefield finally sells more copies than Call of Duty?
I want to say yes.
I don't think so. I think the casual crowd that buys it
probably going to be
doesn't.
Yeah, care. I think Call of Duty is still going to sell really well. I'd like to see Battlefield just absolutely slap Call of Duty out of the way, but we know how it's going to go. Call of Duty is going to be number one, and Call of Duty is going to have a campaign. But the thing with Call of Duty is they're going back to World War II, I think, and it's like
that seems to not do.
Who
that
wants
well.
to do that? Like who wants that? But I just saw Battlefield, and they got like a tornado in the middle of the thing, like a grappling hooks, and like. Why do I want to go back to World War II? We've done that how many times now? Like,
I mean,
I think Call of Duty in space.
I think the quote unquote boycott thing was also a center of the question as well. So,
yeah, I like to see. I think Battlefield's gonna be the better multiplayer game, is what I'll say. But I also think Halo could be a better multiplayer experience than both of them if you prefer more the close quarters kind of combat. But Battlefield just looks awesome from what they've shown so far. So I'm hoping it does better than Call of Duty.
Then I guess after the Halo Infinite tech test ran at a low res and 30 FPS on the Xbox One, is it finally time for Microsoft to cut off old hardware?
I mean, they have to do it because they already said they were going to do it, but we're already seeing them cut off the Xbox One. Like,
sorry, Nate.
Starfield isn't going to be on the Xbox One. Flight Simulator isn't on the Xbox One, so Fable won't be. Perfect Dark won't be. They're moving on. They're actually going to move on faster than Sony's going to move on from that PS4, which is weird. But yeah, like Nate, it's time to pack that VCR up. You can spill something on it like Scott did.
Wow. I use that Xbox One is used mainly just as a prop now. I've thrown that thing in like the tub and stuff. Like it's done. I'm done with it. I just use my 1X now.
Okay, you got the 1X. I was gonna say, Scott, you upgrading that thing soon?
If I can find a console, pretty much. But I have I don't know. It's how many units do you think the Xbox One sold overall lifetime at this point? Because Microsoft they stopped updating after like 30, right?
The Xbox One, a little over 50 million. I think like 52 is about where it was. the Series X, I have been seeing it come in the stock a bit more now, Scott. So I'm thinking you'll have a chance here in a bit. Definitely before like Halo and some of these games.
I
drop.
do technically have a Series S. I do have a Series S, but I don't know where it is. This apartment is a mess.
Huh?
Don't find it. Lose it and don't find it, and go buy a Series X.
No, I bought it. I saw it on eBay. It was like $330. I was just like, why not? It was like 3 a.m. I was just like, screw it, sure. And then now I don't know where it is.
Oh my god.
Not a fan, Scott. Not a fan.
I'm sorry.
Because it's all digital. OJ, it is all digital.
I just got a financial advisor, so it's okay.
Nice. Yeah, about time.
They'll probably say, stop buying digital consoles.
Someone
It's a write-off, so you're
invest in WATA.
Someone
invest in graded games. Sorry, what were we saying, Click?
I was gonna say, someone in chat said we need to hook Scott up with Jake Randall. That's actually a really good idea.
Yeah,
Jake to help him out.
Yeah, he'll message you when one's going up. Just like, there you go.
I appreciate it, but
you want the organic experience, Scott?
I want the organic experience. I want a story to tell my grandchildren.
Hopefully some of these scalpers start opening storefronts where they'll sell out of. You could go in there. It'll be good.
Maybe they can get the Xboxes
lemonade stand or something.
Maybe they can get the Xboxes graded. That could be a whole thing too.
Oh man, that's the only thing I could get my Series S graded because I never opened it.
There you go.
Perfect. Yeah.
We got another Discord question.
Last one. Buy one, rent one, trash one. Metroid Other M, Golden Sun, Dark Dawn, Star Fox Zero.
Wait, hold on. You said what was it? Rent one.
Rent one, buy one, trash one.
Okay, hold on. Okay, so rent one, trash one. I'm gonna go with
trash is Star Fox Zero.
Yeah.
I was gonna say. I was gonna try.
I like that game.
I'm gonna rent Other M.
And then buy Golden Sun.
It's not a bad game. It's not a bad game.
What the fuck is wrong with all of you?
Okay, what are you gonna do, Nate?
You rent Other M, you buy Star Fox Zero, and you trash Golden Sun.
Specifically the DS.
I'm with
Specifically the DS Golden
DS
Sun.
is trash.
I am with Nate 100%.
With all these horse haters.
The ultimate tag team right here.
Golden Sun,
right? Value into consideration.
I was about to say, why would I buy Star Fox Zero when it's at $5?
Well, it's only $5. Yeah,
you're saving money.
Like 5 copies of it.
I got a brand new copy. I got a brand new copy of Star Fox Zero. It's great.
I have 5.
But it's brand new. I'm gonna borrow one copy from you so I can have 2 new copies.
When I see you at too many games, I'll try to.
I got it. I got it figured out. I got it figured
please.
out. Okay, so we're gonna rent. We're gonna trash Star Fox Zero. It's Star Fox Zero. I gotta trash it.
It's not a bad game.
It's not.
I'm going to rent Golden Sun, and then I'm gonna buy Metroid Other M, sealed on eBay, and get it graded on WATA because it's only sealed for $35 here, and that's an easy $1,000 flip.
I have that game sealed.
How much is Other M going for these days? I remember buying it used for like
$35 sealed.
Whoa.
That's got WATA grade all over.
I mean, all the Metroid hype. Of course, people are gonna try to sell that stuff at this point.
I don't know. This might be a 9.2. I'm looking for a 9.8.
I think that game would be I hope that game gets a remaster because like just having an actual controller with that game I think would make it
Nintendo is done with that game.
With what?
We're done with Star Fox, period.
No, bring it
but
over.
It would be a good remaster.
Bring it over.
No, I'm just saying, I think they're done. That game causes wars. That game is
Fringe. That looks like a 9.9 right there. You should get that graded.
I would say a 9.9, nice sealed, brand new copy.
Get mine.
It's got that shine still. There's no like divots in it.
It's pretty perfect condition. I'll take bidders right now. About I'll go as low as 2K right now on it.
It's out of case for $20.
Kiss it.
Pretty minty.
Quality.
It needs to be in an acrylic case, or I won't buy it.
Yeah, you got to get it graded.
Well, give me time. M in the Walmart budget bargain bin in the middle of the aisle for like $5 with the purchase of like a 101 Dalmatians VHS.
That's a
good combo pack.
Well, those are also
How many copies did Other M sell?
A little bit over 1 million, I think.
Okay, so most people who trash it probably haven't even played it, so you know.
Well, it's
no, they played used copies.
No. I don't want to get into it. I'm just. I'm noticing.
I like the game.
Hey, I'm getting a sealed over here.
I like it too. I know.
Yeah.
I know.
My hands are just too big for that controller to play.
Okay, hold on. Whoa. Okay, I'm confused. People.
No, but they're not.
Can we literally mute Sean? He literally pisses me off like every week, dude. Dude, literally.
Big hands, like, the game's almost impossible to play with that tiny D-pad.
Wait, but how we played it on we played on Game Boy, we played it on DS, we played it on small controllers as well.
My hands were covering the whole Game Boy screen because I have these weird basketball player hands.
But they're still considered good games despite how small the system was, including the screen being tiny. Like, do we judge a game based off the controller? I agree we should have had a nunchuck, but like they wanted the D-pad experience to keep that feel. So it's like you can't judge the game based off of that.
I adjusted mine to play with the nunchuck.
Did you? Did you like it better? Do you feel like it was more confusing?
Yes,
with
it was
some of the puzzles.
It was weird, but it was more playable for me because my hands are just, honestly, I'm not just saying that, just like my hands are legitimately too big for that small D-pad to control. Like,
yeah, I have no idea. I have baby hands, so.
Let me go through the super chats here as we finish up. This is from Shinru saying you all get to pick any game IP to get the Final Fantasy remake budget. Which game deserves that treatment regardless if it makes a profit? Have fun with this question.
Wild Arms.
Nice.
A budget or a reimagining like that? Just
you'll get the
budget.
Oh, just any game IP to get the Final Fantasy 7 remake budget is what they said.
He asked this question earlier. Any game IP, it can be a new game, it can be a remaster, just any game IP that you want to have this $5 billion budget that FF7 got.
Wild Arms, man, all day.
Metal Gear Solid.
Knights.
Rock.
There you go.
Rhythm Heaven.
Ooh.
I thought you were gonna say WarioWare Smooth Moves. That's what I thought.
Well,
never again.
What about Chibi
we're already
Robo?
getting that. We don't know the budget of the new Switch one, so I'm happy with that. That looks like a good 100 mil. But no.
Boy Wonder says, Scott, if you were given a big movie budget to make any kind of video, what would it be about? I see what you do now, and it is amazing. So I can imagine what you can do with a huge movie budget.
I appreciate it. I'd probably make a video about like the Game Boy link cable or something.
Oh, okay.
Pretty fun. Yeah, you could probably find something to do with that.
Aaron says, any chance of the Switch passing the PS2 sometime? We talked about that earlier. It's always possible. Depends on how long they extend the generation. Sad Brad says, love everyone here and love seeing Scott on the SpawnCast. OJ, when are we getting Xenokart?
Xenokart. Yeah, I think he asked me that question earlier. Yeah, there's no Xenokart. There's no Xenokart coming at all. But look out for Xenoblade potentially. Something coming down with an actual Xenoblade game.
There you go. Hawk says, I predict indie game of the year, Blue Fire. Corey says, happy Saturday, everyone. I hope everyone's good and safe. Also, should I get Splatoon 2 for $47?
If Splatoon is on sale, I would say pick it up if you enjoy competitive shooters. If you do not enjoy going match in, match out, there is a good story. The DLC is an additional, $15-20 is one of the best DLCs, I think, in any game, to be honest. If you can get it on sale, I recommend it. But again, it is a competitive game. The main story's good. It's a lot like Splatoon 1 if you played it, but the DLC is phenomenal. But again, that's additional cost off of your sale. So it's up to you, but I have like 2,000 hours in the game and I love it.
We also do have Splatoon 3 coming up. I'm wondering if that's going to be out in like the first half of next year.
If it's a summer release, for sure. Yeah. That's what if you can get it on sale and you want to learn the competitive aspect with the controls and you want to get it's definitely a learning curve, but the way that everybody plays that game, with the exception of a few quote unquote pros, everybody's using motion. So if you want to get used to the gyro, to the motion controls, it becomes like second nature. It's almost like using a mouse and keyboard at a certain point. But if you want to like get ahead of the curve and not learn with all the new people who jump on Splatoon 3, pick it up on sale. But again, it's up to you.
People in the chat are saying the expansion's on sale for like $10.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah, is it on sale? If Octo Expansion's on sale for $10, snag that because it is a wonderful DLC.
PM says, best art style in games and why is it Okami? I like those kind of art styles over like straight realism all the time. Yeah.
No, Gravity Rush. Gravity Rush is beautiful. I love Gravity Rush's art style.
Fantastic. Yeah, I agree.
I love how the buildings in the background look like paintings that are like kind of like barely painted. I love that about the game.
Yum says, what's your plans for the 10th anniversary of the Vita? I don't know if
I bought two of them.
Oh my goodness.
Celebrating early.
OLED Vitas.
I got the Borderlands 2 bundle.
Now we're talking the worst version of the game.
Yeah. And just played that on the PlayStation TV. It's been a horrible time. I hate the PlayStation TV. I don't like it. There, I said it. I don't like the PlayStation TV.
A lot of people don't like that.
It's a hot take.
Half the games don't work on it. It's
that's the problem. I got
Lego Batman 2 doesn't work on it?
I got a PS TV and I was like,
oh, it does.
Okay, thank God.
No, what were you saying, OJ?
Oh, nothing. It sucks. I don't like it. Most of my games don't work. A lot of my games don't work. Damn it. I don't like
I have
it.
this giant stack and only a third of them work. And it's just like stuff that it's just like, why doesn't like the Sly Cooper collection work, but then Sly Cooper 4 work? It's stupid. I don't like it.
This is from Cyber saying, assuming we all stop buying them, Mario Kart 9 or GTA 6 drop first. Also, if RGT wants to sell his copy of Super Mario, I'm prepared to offer $5 and a 30-inch sub sandwich of his choice. Let me know.
Okay, nothing less.
There you go. GTA 6 or Mario Kart 9 first. Mario Kart 9 is first. Yeah.
We know a window of when 6 is supposed to
it's going to be a bit.
Out. 2025 is what I think they say.
No, really?
It's gonna be a bit. Everyone keeps buying Grand Theft Auto 5. Stop buying it.
Remember when they used to make multiple Grand Theft Autos?
Yes.
Multiple games a year. Just
do you know how many Grand Theft Auto games are on the PS2? There's a lot.
There's like 5.
That's a lot.
Yeah.
And now
they even had handheld entries. They had the PSP ones, and then they had Chinatown Wars.
Our grandkids are going to be playing Grand Theft Auto 5.
My favorite part is when we were when it came out on the 360, right? Grand Theft Auto 5 on the 360 and the PS3, and then they talked about Grand Theft Auto 5 getting a release on the Xbox One and the PS4. I was like, I mean, this is the next gen Grand Theft Auto. Then technically, we'll get GTA 6 this year. Grand Theft Auto 5 next gen is coming out again this November on the PS5.
Why did Grand Theft Auto 5 take this long to come out for the new platforms? Even then, it's just like I don't get it.
It's something.
It's like the same as Mario Kart 8. I love Mario Kart 8. I'm tired of it. I want a new one. You know,
dude, I
the same with Grand Theft Auto.
I want a new Mario Kart and Grand Theft Auto. I want to watch other people play new Grand Theft Auto.
I'm ready for GTA 6. That is too much hype is built up, so I'm ready for it to disappoint everyone too.
I will say that when it does come out, it's probably going to be like people are going to think it's like the greatest thing ever made when it finally does come out, though. So
I mean, they're going to probably spend
2025.
They're probably going to spend 10 years or so working on the game minimum because they went from Red Dead Redemption 2, I know, and they move around based on production.
Probably working on it. Yeah, they've still been working on it probably.
They got to try to make
at this point.
They got to try to make the online seem appealing enough to get everyone who's currently on 5.
I'm curious. I mean, it's weird because you figure you just continue GTA Online as it is now and just do GTA 6 as its own thing. Like, you don't need another multiplayer, I feel like.
Well, GTA Online's free for PS Plus, right?
That should just be free in general.
PS5.
That should just be free to play, and then they just load it up with their shark cards and all that stuff like they do anyway. But just separate it from the mainline Grand Theft. Like, I feel like we'd get more of these Grand Theft Auto mainline games if it wasn't so dependent on the online to sell.
I mean, like I would like multiple GTA games. I would just like more Rockstar stuff in general.
Yeah,
you just look at everything they did on the 360, and it's crazy, you know. And now it's just like only like 2-3 games.
Bully. Guys, remember Bully?
Bully,
the Warriors.
Oh, Warriors was really good.
That's my favorite Rockstar game.
Space Station.
I want to. You know what? I want to see how they do a new Manhunt now.
Silicon Valley.
Now I'm sad. You just brought up the Warriors.
That was a really good game.
That game was awesome. Yeah.
You'd like go in and like unscrew the screws and like the car to get the stereos out of there to go.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. Like, you can use like the walls in the environment to like jack people up. It was, gosh, especially if you watch the movie, it makes the game even like way better because then you start understanding everything about it. You know, man. Now I'm sad.
Really like remaster when.
Remaster? Okay.
Even just remasters, like they only did LA Noire and that was it. Like
that was a weird one to pick too. I don't really know why. Why did you pick that one?
If we're not going to get a Max Payne 4 anytime soon, at least like up 3
Max Payne?
Like current gen. You know?
Max Payne 3 is incredible, and they were just like, all right, that's it. It's like, what? That was a good game. It's still good. You can play it now on your PC and it looks incredible.
I would take just ports of the iOS and Android versions of the PS2 Grand Theft Autos on like Switch or something like that.
They haven't done that either. That's so weird.
I would take that. Like it's just like I don't understand why they don't do it. Like they would work. Like it's just like GTA 5. It's pretty iffy, but it's also like it was a 360 game, but you know.
San Andreas would sell like a stupid amount of copies. I feel like on the Switch. I think people would. I think that hit the top of the charts very quickly.
Rockstar just doesn't. I think at this point, it's pretty fair to say that they don't care. Like they just don't
care about the money.
They got comfortable. That GTA Online made them real comfortable. I'm telling you.
They don't care about remastering. They don't care about what the fans say. They literally don't care about that at all. Like
it just crossed 150 mil, right?
Yep.
GTA 5.
They're comfortable.
They're comfortable. They're making their money. They don't care if the Switch gets this. They don't care if people want the Warriors. Like that didn't sell 150 million, you know.
Yep.
So
pretty much.
How well did LA Noire sell on Switch?
I don't think LA Noire sold great on anything.
Anyway, yeah, I don't think it did either.
I'm just curious. I never heard.
It did worse on. It was the Switch version was the worst selling version.
Yeah, I can see that. Yeah. I mean, I don't think it sold a lot to begin with anyway when they did it, but yeah, I can see that.
Didn't it like that studio because they lost so much money? That studio was shut down, didn't they? Like Team Bondi or Studio Bondi or whatever.
Yeah, Team Bondi shut down years ago.
There was a lot of background stuff though, with like not paying people or something. Like they did some weird stuff.
Okay, gotta pay people, right?
Well, yeah, probably. Wait, to make the game, yes.
Apparently not.
It's from Bag, who says, "Booted up my Wii U. It's finally time to play Metroid Prime Trilogy. With my luck, it will be announced for Switch when I finish it." Probably, yeah.
Hold on, Scott.
Right.
Matt says, "Welcome back, Scott. What is the inspiration behind the great music numbers in your videos, and what's it like collaborating with writers like Garrett Williamson?"
I just do that stuff because I think it's fun, not because I'm like, oh, I want to sing. Like, no, like it's kind of more so just like, this is kind of fun to do. Garrett's amazing. Garrett, Nick, Hyper Potions did stuff for a video, and then like there's like T Lopes and stuff I've worked with, and it's all super amazing to work with people like that. Like I think half of the fun of doing this YouTube channel is being able to like do this kind of stuff that as a kid I would have dreamed of, just being like, oh man, I would love to have animation done for this, or have my like music or musical numbers or random stuff like that. So it's kind of like a dream come true to be able to do stuff like that.
Then we have Knock, who says, with Nintendo getting full rights to Astral Chain, I've been wondering what they have planned for the IP, more flexibility with budget and direction. I assume they're going to do another one of the series.
I assume we're gonna get an Astral Chain 2 before Bayonetta 3.
Oh gosh!
I mean, it got announced. It got announced beforehand, but I think that they're gonna stick with Platinum and doing that, and I think that Platinum's really gonna be like the driving force behind it. But I mean, Nintendo obviously owns the thing. But I would just say, yeah, Astral Chain did really good. So
yeah, just don't Babylon's follow it up.
Yeah.
I don't think that would happen with Astral Chain.
No, I don't think so either. But
don't do that, please.
There's some good setup for a sequel, so I'd be curious to see how they take it from there.
Say it, Fringe. Say it.
Say what? I love Astral Chain.
Shinru says, "Hey, Miss Click, who would you cast for a Zelda live action movie? Also, who would you trust to be the director? Is Michael Bay a good choice?"
Lol. There's no way. There's no way you're being real right now. I'm a very big, honestly. Yeah, no, I'm a very big advocate. I'd want an animated movie. So it'd be more on like, who would you want the voices? I think animation, you have more control because you can control every aspect, including the camera, not just the acting. I think with Mario, obviously he's being into an animated movie. I think Zelda would need to be an animated as well. And I'd even go so far as to say Metroid, honestly. I just feel like they would do so well if they did like more realistic animations versus actual actors and actresses. And if I think they did do actors and actresses, bring in new talent. Like don't bring in, like have a couple big names maybe, but like for these new characters, like bring in faces we've literally never seen before, but we know the talent that they've had. I think that would be really cool to like have these characters like be their premiere as these new heroes.
I would say
you give Link a voice.
It's so tough, man. Like I personally, like people ask me like what would Link's voice even sound like? I'd be like, to be honest, I think he'd kind of sort of sound like Cloud a little bit, but a little less like sassy and angsty. I think he would have a very similar kind of tone of voice.
I think a way to pull it off, just making it, if you're gonna make it in the one direction of like very serious and dark and like not have it to be like as fun and playful, because then I would think it'd be more something like Free Guy's director, like Sean Levy could handle something like that. But if you're gonna do it very serious and not have as much talking in there, and it be this visual like journey and this hero's quest, just based off the trailers of The Green Knight and have watched a Ghost Story, David Lowery is probably one of the best visionary directors who could handle that task.
Okay. This is from Bad Gamer says, I think Prime Trilogy and 2D Metro games will be great on the Steam Deck if Nintendo won't do it. Scape says Halo could win Soundtrack of the Year at Game Awards. I don't know about Game of the Year because of Battlefield. Splitgate could also win some awards because it's popular. I've tried playing Splitgate 4 different times, and I'm always in a queue when I start it up.
Yeah, it's like an hour and a half wait, right, to get into the server at one point.
It's obscene. So
I would nothing but good things about it.
I'd like to play it. It's like Portal mixed with a Halo type game, but maybe I'll get a chance to play it next year or something. I don't know. We'll see.
Yeah.
And this is from Scape saying, remember with Halo they have Gareth and Ori won OST at Game Awards. Halo's music should win that award, to be honest with Gareth. I mean, it could be good. We don't know the whole soundtrack yet and everything. Sure, it could be really, really good. Halo generally has pretty good music. So Andy says, today I'd like to shout out Evan for all the background work. Keep it up, brother.
Yep.
Mug says, I hate how expensive retro video games are. I think we all do. I mean, we all want to go back in time to when you like just kind of go through the stacks that were at GameStop, and there was like the $2.99 sticker on like the Fire Emblems and stuff. So
I mean, I'm happy that there are more people that are getting into collecting retro games. I think that's really cool. Mm-hmm. And then the prices going up is an inevitability with that happening. But they're kind of going up for the wrong reason, I think.
Yeah. I mean, it's fun because obviously it brings people together on games that they all enjoy. But yeah, you're right. It does get to a certain level that it's broken through now to where it's like, $200 for Pokemon XD. This feels a bit out there. Diz says not able to.
Pokemon Channel is really expensive, and that has no right being that expensive.
That game was like $10 a couple years ago. How much is it now?
Like $75.
Oh wow!
And I got one off of eBay, and it had printed off cover art, and I was mad.
Did they take a picture at just the right angle so you're like, I think that's the right? I'll buy it. And it's like printer paper.
I was like, oh man, I have to buy this game again. I didn't even want it the first time.
eBay, it's eBay for you, man.
I'm gonna have to. I already have like 2 or 3 games for the Cube picked out that I'm gonna go hunting for at too many games. One of them may be
Cubivore.
Might be Cubivore. We'll see how this goes. All right, it better not. It's got to be WADA graded 9.5, nothing less. No.
You have Fire Emblem, right?
I do have Fire Emblem. Yes, I have that.
Skies of Arcadia.
I do. Skies.
You have it graded.
That's.
I don't have it graded now. I have Skies Arcadia. I have Gotcha Force as well.
What about Chibi Robo?
Ooh.
I need to get Chibi Robo. That's another one I'm gonna look for.
See that you wanna spring on that before it becomes WADA graded. It's pretty bad. It's pretty
another
bad
one that's exploded in price is Def Jam Fight for New York.
About time.
Yeah.
I mean, it is on the PS2. It's like $150 to $200 even.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So, and I was playing it on the GameCube the other day. Forgot how poor the frame rate was in that one, but it was still fun. I played it on the original Xbox back in the day.
When you play when you're younger, it's just you mask it out. And playing it on like an old CRT and stuff, like you just don't think about it.
I think it plays better on the original Xbox than the PS2 and the GameCube, because I remember playing that one a lot on the original Xbox. Good game, fun game.
Yeah.
But yeah, expensive game. So we'll see how things go at too many games with some
your main on there. I always use Ludacris. Who's your main?
I just use my own character that you make.
Oh my! What? You got a bunch? Oh my!
I had the cool move where you'd hold them up and then you would do this crazy like kick and you'd flip around.
Yeah, there's a game with all these rappers and everything else, and you use yourself.
I made a character. That's the whole point of it. You make a character in this one.
My whole
and you level them up.
Yours went down. I'm sorry.
I leveled them up. This is this Diz saying not able to watch live tonight, but wanted to pop in and show my appreciation for the great content. Hot Pocket Daily says talk about Halo. J Dude says, hey guys, keep up the great work and everything you guys do. Quick question: do any of you watch Some Call Me Johnny's channel? I do.
Yeah,
he makes fun videos. Yes. Maybe we'll see him at too many games. I don't know. He was there last time.
He's a guest. He's a guest this year.
Is he? Oh, good. Okay, cool. Like I said, a lot of people are going. I think it's going to be a lot of fun this year. So Everyone should go out there. Go check it out. It's gonna be fun.
I got like 7 people coming with me, so I have to coordinate some planes. It's pretty bad.
They show up with like a whole posse, huh? Just a whole bunch of people.
Yeah.
Entourage.
Yeah. It's more people than the website said is coming. So
Daniel says, Scott, you're going to too many games. DS game recommendations, anyone? Nate the Great gets too much hate. Love all of you. Have a great night.
DS game recommendations?
Oh, yeah, you want to throw him a recommendation. Sure.
Oh, man. This is tricky. Oh, man. What would you say?
A DS game?
What's your go-to? Yeah,
I like the Mega Man
Zero ZX guy.
I like the Mega Man Zero collection that they put out because they had all the Mega Man Zero games, but they came out with the collection already now on the Switch, so it's like just get that one.
The Castlevania games.
The Castlevania games was where I was going to go with it next. Yeah. That's definitely a good one to pick up. Or you can get technically Diamond and Pearl, but those are going to come out soon on the Switch anyway. Castlevania games probably. Yeah, some of the better DS games.
Slide Adventure Mag Kid and Metroid Prime Pinball. That's pretty good.
Metroid Prime Pinball is amazing.
Or Chrono Trigger.
That's like a joke for a lot of people, but it's actually.
It is a good game.
Okay, that game's it's actually one of my favorite games on the DS. Is Metroid Prime Pinball.
No, it's legitimately really good. But I know a lot of people go, it's just like, oh, Metroid Prime Pinball, and like the concept is like, oh, that's kind of funny, but it's also like it's actually really good.
But people would disrespect Pokemon Pinball back in the day too, and that was an awesome game.
That game was awesome too. Yeah.
And the Mario Pinball Land on like Game Boy Advance is not that great. And I think that's done by the same developer as Metroid Prime Pinball. But yeah. All the other Nintendo pinball games are pretty good.
Chrono Trigger is another good one on the DS. That's like the best version of the game.
That game, the price shot up. It's $200 sealed for a new copy.
That was like $20.
Wait, how much is that
on the Square Enix Online store like 5 years ago?
Yeah.
And this is from Jakin says apparently Scott collects candles and water bottles. A man of culture.
Okay, so I've been drinking a lot. I'm trying to stay up late tonight, so I've been drinking tea and a lot of water. But yeah, I have what do we have tonight? We have a sweet nectar blossom. And then
yeah, if people don't know, Scott has a lot of candles. I didn't realize he's like a candle connoisseur.
I saw a tobacco candle. I'm just like, I gotta get that. That's funny.
Scott had to like explain to me because you spilled candle on your Xbox, and I was like, why do you spill candles? You're like, oh, I collect candles. You're like a whole bunch of them.
It's pretty good.
So yeah, there you go. Tobacco.
Yankee Candle's pretty good. Yankee Candle's pretty good. It's pretty expensive though. Woodwick, really fun. They crackles when it burns. Those are really fun.
Favorite scent?
Those are my favorite scent. Oh man, there's like a milk and honey kind of one that smells like grandma lotion or something.
Ooh.
It smells pretty
like
fun.
Oatmeal kinda.
Yeah, I think like with a milk and honey kind of thing, you do that and you get like some like tangerine and salsa kind of thing or something like that.
Oh,
that's pretty good too. That has a nice tropical scent. But this one's pretty good. There's a sweet nectar blossom.
I'm learning a lot.
I'd recommend it. It's a fun way to get a bunch of soot. It's a fun way to get a bunch of soot in your vents.
You know what? At Too Many Games, I hope there's a candle store nearby, because I'm just gonna take you there, and you're just gonna show me that.
Man,
world.
If there's a Yankee Candle or something like that, would be so much fun.
I have to see this world, okay? That I've just been completely missing, apparently.
I'd recommend it. It's fun. I wouldn't recommend the tobacco cider.
I probably would have passed by a candle named Tobacco, most likely.
I bought it because it was funny.
I mean,
I was just like, it smells like tobacco. That's funny.
Andy says RGT Rant deserves another $5. Victor, that's like a whole section for Spawn clips, Sean. So
I know.
Yeah. Victor says, what would be the easiest way to get physical Game Boy Advance games? Honestly, you gotta either cross your fingers with something like eBay or go to a convention or a retro game store if you're lucky to have one. But
on eBay, I usually look for the listings if they're very expensive Game Boy Advance games. Like if they show the board on there, that generally means, and I'm not very knowledgeable on what boards look legit or not.
Yeah, it's tough.
But usually if they show the board, that at least shows they're willing to just show, that, hey, like this is what it is. generally like like the other there are very easy ways to tell like if they get the label wrong or something, but eBay's fine. Yeah, a lot of game stores they don't know. You still might get fake ones at game stores, but it's kind of.
But not at the Pink Gorilla.
This is from Aaron Davis.
Very true, Sean. Very true.
What a rant you did there, Sean. Mulligan says, so when his first episode of RGT Detective? Must have yarn wall. Monroe says, my only graded game is Halo Combat Evolved. That's the VGA graded.
There you go. Get your money.
Tarek says, could a Metroid trilogy hurt Prime 4 like Crash Trilogy hurt Crash 4? Average consumers see more value in the trilogy pack than a single new release. No. I don't think so. I think people need to get caught up on Prime, to be honest, right now. With how many people have bought the Switch. So a lot of people who have the Switch who probably have not played a Prime game yet.
I don't think the value would hurt the potential sales for Metroid Prime 4 as much as you're playing Metroid Prime 1, 2, and 3 and you say, this gameplay style doesn't click with me, so I'm no longer have interest in Metroid Prime 4.
Gotcha.
You run that risk, but not from a value point of view.
DPX says, the new thing I look forward to every episode is an RGT rant.
Well, and you got a good one today.
It says, if you can hypothetically steal one thing from a co-host collection, what would it be? Drop your Rob list. Wada included, burn it down. I'd steal
from each other.
Sean has some cool stuff. Scott has some cool stuff. He's got that Virtual Boy.
Fuck off! I have two Virtual Boys. I have a Panasonic Q. I got a Sharp Twin Famicom. I got a Panzer Dragoon Saga. I got some cool stuff.
I was gonna swoop in and take that Panzer Dragoon Saga as the turn.
I got a 64 DD just on the floor right there.
I have a 64 DD.
Dude, Sean wants
I don't have the box
Virtual Boy.
I don't have Virtual Boy.
I got two.
Borderlands 2 Vita.
I got nothing. My house is empty. Nobody steal anything from me.
This is green screen.
Yeah, I would grab that Panzer Dragoon Saga from Sean. Definitely.
Someone asked why I have two Virtual Boys. I had to kick my housemate out from the Zelda Sword days, and when I kicked him out, he was late on paying me my half of the rent, so I took a bunch of. No, I took the N64. So I have two N64s. I have two Virtual Boys. But
See, I don't have anything like that, but I have like the weird, like valuable stuff, like the N64 HDMI, the Ultra HDMI that's already installed, the Dreamcast one, the McWill screen on that Game Gear, Sean. I got that.
That's sexy.
It's pretty good. Like, it's actually a really good screen.
Stone Age Gamer had a fucking they had a Nomad with an LCD mod, and they only wanted like $280 for it. I wish I would have saw it before it sold.
That mod's actually not too bad to do either. I've looked into it because I've thought about doing it. It's all right. Like it's easier than the Game Gear one, I believe. So
they've been doing a lot. They have a ton of modded stuff on their site now. That's something that they're really getting into, which I think is cool.
This is Jonathan saying, was able to buy a sealed Cubivore early last year. Oh, that's pretty good.
But for how much?
This is from Darth saying, rip Trevor Moore. YouTube won't let me send the name of his old sketch show, but if you know, you know.
Oh,
why does kids you know?
Yeah, why does kids you know?
Jeff Grubb says, traveling to the annals of the earth tonight. Have a good show. All right. Well, have fun in where's he going? Where do you think?
Well, he's making fun of me because I said annals. What it was, annals? How do you say it?
I was about to call it an entire U.S. city, but all right, go ahead.
I don't know. You could always say like the far reaches of the earth.
But I mean, that's a saying, right?
I've literally never heard it ever.
I think I've heard that
weird.
saying before.
Annals of the Earth. Here, this is a book. Annals of the world.
Okay, how do you spell it?
ANNALS.
That's not.
I thought it was of like history.
Same.
Like, what do you say? Annals?
I thought.
Okay, how do you spell Ann? ANN. Alls.
You know how to spell
annals?
But I thought isn't it annul? Wouldn't it be like annul or something? Not anal?
Wouldn't there be a U if it was annul?
That's annual.
Oh gosh, okay, we have to move on. Unfinished says, I'm hearing a lot of debate whether or not the Dead Space remake running on the Frostbite engine is a good thing or not. Question, what's your guys' thoughts on this? Thoughts on the engine itself? I think Frostbite's good when
it's pronounced annals.
Oh gosh,
Sean. That's what I said, annals. Annals.
You said the annals of the earth, not the...
I definitely heard anals. I'm sorry. I heard anals.
I think the Frostbite engine. I think they'll probably be all right with the Frostbite engine, and I think it was only going to work if they were going to do that, so they don't have to use Unreal or pay someone else for their engine. So, and he says, Scott, what's your favorite flavor of Mountain Dew?
No, I'm not a big Mountain Dew guy. As in, I don't drink it at all. I don't drink pop in general. I generally just do. I have green tea here. It's caffeinated green tea, and all it does, I realize that caffeine doesn't really keep you awake. It just makes your heart beat faster.
You're tired, but faster.
I can confirm that.
Yeah.
I'm drinking it right now. This is Andrew saying, John, do you think Arlo will go to TMG or play Dread? I don't know. Maybe Arlo will go to TMG. Haven't heard that he's going or not, so we'll find out as we get closer. Sir Crypto says, Trick Arrow says, as long as you land on your back. That's for you, Sean, for going through the table.
Oh yeah, I'll be good. I've done way worse stuff than take a power bomb through a table. Trust me.
I believe. Eric says Star Fox Adventures is great. I agree. Monroe says my Gravity Rush came from GameStop, basically brand new. Not a single scratch on the disc, and the case has 0 scratches. Joseph says, yeah, but it's OG on the podcast. That was $5. Also, will NCAA video game return before or after Texas Conference realignment? It's in development now, so
yeah, there's going to be an NCAA game. They got to figure out how they're going to actually divvy up those payments for the players, though. So that's going to be.
It'll make the game better though, because they'll be able to use all the likenesses they want. So that's good. That's good, and the players will be getting money.
Which
so, there we go.
Complete BS. Just little rant. Complete BS as a college athlete myself. Complete BS that it took this long.
Yeah, it is kind of crazy. It took this
because
long.
It's legitimately like. It is like exploitation. Like they exploit the athletes so much. You're there 24/7. You're doing everything they tell you to do. You're killing yourself sometimes. And if you don't play, it's like, oh well. You get into free education. It's like, no, this is like it's really bad. So thankfully they finally got it done. But man, this is like way long overdue.
Oh,
so,
did it? Like Ed and Charles O'Bannon try to do this like back in like the early 2000s or something.
They've tried. They've tried to do this. They've tried to find ways to get athletes paid more, but some guys were legitimately like they had no money. Like I played at Fresno State, so they had like no money. They have nothing, and they can't do anything. So they had to we had to do like little things. We had to go to like car washes and help out through like the school funded to get extra funds to certain guys. It was really bad. It was like super, super bad. So I'm glad that this is happening because the colleges make millions of dollars off of these players, these bowl games and all that. So it's good.
This is from Slope saying, I will ask everyone at TMG to read a card that says, shut up, Slopez. You will be exposed, Mr. Nate.
I'll just change my voice.
Smoke says, anyone think Persona will come to the Xbox? I feel like it.
Maybe.
I feel like one of them will, and that could just be Strikers. So Nintendo Eric says, question for Scott, how far in advance do you start filming your videos and what is the process like?
Sometimes it's pretty far in advance. I think the one coming out tomorrow, hopefully, I'm gonna film mostly tomorrow. So we'll see what happens there. I have the voiceover done and I have 5 minutes edited of 22. So it'll get done. But sometime I had this done ahead of time and then I got really busy yesterday and I didn't get anything done. So
okay, well, we'll get through the rest of these questions and then we'll get you back to editing. So Kenneth says, got a question, are emulators and ROMs good?
Yes.
There you go. The Basement Band says, OJ is here. I imagine if you didn't care, would you stream games to Twitch or YouTube?
YouTube.
There you go. Church says, as a PlayStation Now subscriber, any word of Sony adding PS1 and PS2 games to this service?
Nothing new.
They're already on there, but yeah, some are.
That's some rapid fire Sean response.
Reese says, forget overall game of the year. Which Nintendo game is getting family game of the year?
The Mario Party game.
Okay. Ross says game of the year so far is new Pokemon Snap, Persona 5 Strikers, Zelda Skyward Sword HD. This year is much weaker than last year. Possible candidates: Lost Judgment, Monkey Ball, Metroid Dread, Battlefield, Shin Megami Tensei.
I disagree with your picks.
Skyler says Splitgate or Valhalla for indie game of the year.
Not familiar with either.
Death's Door. Total Warrior says Halo Infinite for game of the year if the campaign is great. Possibly. Maybe. Corey says, do you think Nintendo will reuse Breath of the Wild engine and assets for Zelda remakes? I'm gonna say no. I'm gonna say
it's pretty different.
Yeah,
I'm gonna say probably not for remakes, but they'll use it for something weird like Ring Fit Adventure. So there you go. Ross says, suggestion: SpawnCast, Game Awards. VGAs are garbage. You folks have a diverse set of opinions. Make a better set of awards. It would be cool to honor industry legends by naming awards after them.
We get that suggestion after, like, every year. We just never get around to finishing it up.
This year for sure.
There you go. Lavender says,
what even is the Game Awards trophy? What is that supposed to be?
The Game Awards trophy where they're the wing and everything?
An angel?
I don't know. It's supposed to be.
That's what Jeff Keighley sees when he looks in the mirror, so he made it a trophy.
Oh my god.
Lavender says,
we like Jeff.
Hey there, hope all are going well. I got a set of Zelda Joy-Con for under MSRP on eBay. As far as game of the year, my game of the year is going to be Tales of Arise or Pathfinder, Wrath of the Righteous, most likely. I mean, we got to get to Tales of Arise coming out first, but that's good. Sean Fair says, Marvel vs. Capcom 2 Remastered would break the internet. Samantha says, I think game of the year is Monster Hunter Rise. I also want to say you all look great today. Have a great night.
Thank you.
Hot Pocket says Halo Infinite game of the year. I mean, it's possible. We got to see how it is when it comes out. Smoke says if remasters count, do director's cuts count for game of the year? I mean, kind of. I don't know. What do you think? Maybe.
I don't count either.
There you go. Jeffrey says Metroid Dread or Pokemon remakes could be considered. I mean, Metroid Dread, would be considered. Obviously.
Not Pokemon remake.
One video game dude says, Mini Raid, we love you on behalf of an awesome gaming community. Hi, Miss Click, RGT85 and Spawn Wave Guy. Much respect to the other peeps as well. Nate says, shout outs to 1047. That's a Splitgate developers. That has to be a dream come true for a small team like that, from a small community to just exploding on Steam. Ross says in 2019, Fire Emblem Three Houses was not nominated, but won Voice of the People. Shows how out of touch VGAs are.
True.
Cynic says Blue Fire should be nominated. Then we have Evo here, and then Jungle Zone says Virtua Fighter 5 Ultimate Showdown as a nomination. Scape says if Halo Infinite releases with all expected launch content, great multiplayer, campaign, Forge, etc., that package alone should make it game of the year. Battlefield doesn't even have a campaign in comparison. Console Gamer says, Scott, candle of the week. You just gave us one, I think, didn't you?
Tobacco. Yeah.
Tobacco. and Nino says, sealed Gravity Rush Remaster for $80 to the moon. Got to get that WADA sealed, though. Jason says, got excited for the .hack last recode rating for Switch. Check Steam. $7.99 on sale. Yeah, Steam Deck already saved me money. Probably $4 on the Switch. That's if we're lucky. I don't know. Bandai, I feel like, is going to... We'll see. We'll see is all I'm going to say. I wouldn't be shocked if they show up with a $50 price on that one. There's a few more here, but I want to go around and get outros as well while I'm going through them. Let's go to our guest tonight. Scott, where can everyone find you?
I'm on pretty much everything. It's just Scott the Waz, and I'm doing all kinds of things. Whatever, just things involving me.
Video tomorrow that you're gonna hopefully finish up tomorrow.
Hopefully.
And
I don't know.
You'll be at too many games.
Yeah, I'll be there. Hanging out. I need to figure out exactly. I already typed in what the panel was gonna be. But then I was also like, man, I gotta figure out how this is gonna work, pretty much. But so I have to order some stuff. But it should be fun. Bringing some friends along, and yeah, it shouldn't be that hard to edit. It's just kind of putting footage where it belongs. That's pretty much it. Nothing wild, but yeah.
Yep. So we have Too Many Games is second week of October, I believe. Second week. So everyone come on out. We'll have some fun. A lot of people are going to be there. So come out, see the SpawnCast, see Scott. Speaking of which, Click, where can everyone find you?
Yeah, thanks for having me. Good to see you again, Scott. You can find me here on YouTube as MissClick Gaming, or I am live almost every day on Twitch at MissClick_live. We're actually, I think, beginning of the week, we're going to finally finish Mass Effect 2, and then we're going to be starting 3. So that's very exciting because I'm thoroughly enjoying the games. So yeah, if you want to see that playthrough and all that stuff, fresh take, it'll be there. Other than that, you can find me on Twitter and Instagram at just MissClick.
We have confirmation that Click will also be at Too Many Games. That was announced in the in the tweet as well.
Yeah.
Andrew says
the guy from Pawn Stars is going to be there too. Apparently.
True. And
He's selling it. He's selling an NES repro.
You know what's funny? Actually, speaking of all this,
he has a game.
I don't want to trigger Sean, but like, I just saw a clip on was it TikTok or something of Pawn Stars. They brought in one of the packaged Mario sticker seals. And they brought it in. They brought it into Pawn Stars, and then they went on about WATA and stuff like that. And I thought it was so funny that we brought it up tonight because I was just thinking about that. But
there's some. I read something today about that.
You should ask him about WATA, see if he knows anything.
Oh, I'm sure he does.
Sean's really like full on detective mode here. Sean's like trying to bring him down from the inside.
WATA was trying to advertise during an episode of Pawn Stars.
Were they really?
Interesting. What do you think the end game is here, Sean? What do you think they're gonna rate and just retire on? What's gonna happen?
They just want money, and they're getting too fucking greedy, and people are starting to sniff them out.
Stadia. Oh, this is from Andrew. Says Dread will be Game of the Year, easy, but won't win because it's 2D. Stadia says the Bouncer will get a remake and be Game of the Year 2022.
Accurate.
Sam says how much how much money do you have to give Square for them to finish the Ogre Battle saga?
15 pesos.
Let me give Avedon. Shout out to Avedon here. Brian says thoughts on Abandoned. Blue Box is weird, but it's also weird that Konami is being quiet too. Well, Nate keeps saying Silent Hill, so I'm just going to keep saying.
It has nothing to do with Abandoned.
Not with Abandoned. I'm saying in general, Silent Hill.
But he asked about Abandoned. Your response doesn't make sense.
I think you're fronting for Abandoned anyway right now, Nate. I think you're one of them. That's all I know.
Yeah, I think you funded the game.
I think this conspiracy goes deep. All right.
I could be Hassan.
I knew it.
I think stuff's happening. So
yes, I am part of the Patriots.
I think Silent Hill, there's a Silent Hill game that's in development. There you go. Nate has talked about it for what feels like a year now. I'm not saying it's attached to Abandoned, but I think some weird stuff is happening with Abandoned.
That has nothing to do with Konami.
So you say?
Yeah.
They are two independent matters.
Absolutely.
Wait, hold on. You said Abandoned's a matter now? Hold on, what?
Of course it's a matter.
It's been upgraded to a matter? It won't end. It really won't.
It's an inconvenience.
Hellman says, Scott.
It's an irritant.
Scott, will Star Fox Zero come to Switch? Oh, man.
No, and we thank God it won't.
Larry says, why is Monster Rancher 1 and 2 only on the Japanese eShop? They are both on PS1 here in the US. Those games are legendary. Well, it's region free, but I assume it's not an English option. So I don't know. I guess they decided not to localize it. Rasta says, I haven't played a wrestling game unless I was at a friend's house, and it's been a while. What game should I start off with that's actually good?
No Mercy.
Here comes the pain.
No Mercy.
No Mercy's good too.
Better.
What? No, not now. Here Comes the Pain is better now. Like in terms of like from right now, like playing games now and then going back. No Mercy, really, the N64 game.
Yes.
The one that's
there's a reason why people are still modding that game to this day.
Yeah.
Sean, where can everyone find you?
You can find me on RGT85 or RGT Live. Sometimes I go live on there. I tried to make a schedule, but it's not working out because my schedule was going to be Mondays and Thursday nights. And then I was like, okay, so I did Monday. And then Thursday, I was like, oh, okay, I'll play the new Super Mario or the golf mode. And of course, Nintendo didn't release that till like 11 p.m. So I was like, fuck off. And then this Monday night, I think I'm busy. So it's, yeah.
Streaming life, bro.
OJ, where can everyone find
really?
you?
You can't do 2 days out of the week. You can find me on RGT's channel helping out with this mod. No, I'm joking. Find me right here on YouTube. Got a cool video going down on tomorrow talking about some retro stuff. And also got a cool video going up on Monday, so check those out. And yeah, that's about it. You can follow me on Twitter. I go live pretty much every single day. So I'm live on there answering questions and playing video games and stuff. So yeah, thanks to everybody who comes over. Appreciate you guys.
Shadow says everyone's sleeping on Psychonauts 2. I think Psychonauts 2 will be fun. I'm checking that one out. Alan says Zelda animated movie has to be like Dragon Quest, your story on Netflix. Skylar says I downloaded Splitgate on Xbox, got into the server in 5 or 10 minutes. You should give it a try if you have not already. I have not tried in the last day, so I'll try it tomorrow. See how that goes. Then we have Zaire says I would love to have a Zelda show animated by the Castlevania team, and if Link were to be a voice, I think someone like Johnny Young would be good. This one's for RGT. It's Tommy. Why do adult sites have a screencast option?
Because there's money to be made.
There you go. Christian says my favorite video game is Eternal Sonata. Marky says, this is Marky says Nate is a Nintendo fanboy. Wait, weren't you a Sony fanboy last week?
Yeah,
didn't they call me a submissive Nintendo fanboy? I don't think they know what the words mean. I thought you were a Sony fan last week.
Sometimes
I'm a Sony fanboy, then I'm an Xbox fanboy, then I'm a Nintendo fanboy, then somehow I become a Steam Deck fanboy, and then I haven't been accused of a Stadia fanboy yet, so that's progress.
I'm back next week.
Stadia.
Oh, Conway Scott.
Yeah.
Conway asked Scott, "Will Wendy's employee be at too many games?" I guess one of the people that's coming.
Yeah.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, he'll be there. He'll be there.
And then Marky asks if Sean's gonna live stream with Rich.
He gets a little weird sometimes on his streams.
Okay. Yeah.
Like I'm weird, but like I'm a different weird. He's
yeah, he's right. Anthony Thacker's right. I'm an Amico fanboy. Fuck yeah, the Amico. And coming later this year with Farkle. Can't wait to know Farkle. Bunch of Farkle fun.
Then Marky asks Spawnwave John, can you even lift, bro? I usually just drive myself around.
He can lift a Farkle.
And then Jordan, where can everyone find you?
In a cornhole.
You can find me Jordan Fringe on YouTube. I appreciate all the support. Thanks for having me on, John.
Then we got Evan.
Yep, you can find me over on Twitter, Kimmerix Project. If I'm streaming or if anything's going on, I'll usually post there.
Awesome. And Nate, where can everyone find you?
We got another Streamlab or Smart, whatever the fuck these are called.
Let's see. I'm double checking the Streamlabs too, just to make sure. There's usually a few on there I wanted to go over, but you wanna let everyone know where they can find you, Nate, before I read the last few and then we finish up.
You got Marky Mark saying, Nate, you're a Stadia fanboy.
Oh, you wanted to reply to it. Well, no, I'm I'm supposed to be a Stadia fanboy.
Well, I am.
What's going on here?
I'm an Amico Stadia fanboy. Hell yeah, Farkle on both of them.
Out of control.
But yeah, people can find me on YouTube at Nate the Hate. Next week, MVG and myself may have 2 uploads, depending how the week unfolds. It'll probably be Tuesday and Thursday. If we don't have one on Tuesday, we will definitely have one on Thursday. We have several videos in production over the course of the month. A couple of them need a few bits of research, so we are actively researching the data needed for the topics. But next week, possibly Tuesday, but definitely on Thursday.
Okay. Then Isaac says, Spawnwave have any pizza today? Yeah, I have pizza every day. Sometimes twice a day.
Oh my goodness.
Sir, I got pizza too.
There you go. See?
Yeah, you got to make your own though. That's the thing.
Yes. Yeah, absolutely. And a few streamlines here to finish up. Rupert says, I believe Nintendo released the OLED Switch for $350 to Prime customers for what is next. I believe Nintendo will launch a Switch predecessor, the Nintendo Entertainment Super Switch NES for $400 with backwards compatibility. Gorilla says, love your content, MVG. All right. Your video on the GBA port of the Street Fighter Alpha 3 is one of my favorites. Keep up the good work. And then question, what impossible port impresses you the most? All right. Thanks, MVG. And then we have Sony said, hold on. Okay. It's moved over here. Sony sucks. Nintendo won.
Sony sucks.
Why do people buy PlayStation games when those aren't real physical games? Nintendo will always have physical games. Stop the cap, Sony. There's some words in here that are capital and some not. But this is, I guess,
I like that.
We have the Nintendo fam. I didn't see Xbot at all anywhere.
I think I banned that guy from my stream.
Wait a minute. Xbox Killer says, hey, everyone, sorry about the awful messages that I used to send in the past. PlayStation, Nintendo, and Xbox are all wonderful consoles. Please remember to make love and not war. Keep it real, homies.
No way. We don't get an arc. We don't get a transitional arc like that.
Yeah, what happened? Yeah. Did you get like a visit from Jesus Christ in your sleep?
Hold on.
All 3 systems visit you like the ghost of Christmas past.
Yeah, every company's in this.
There's another part of it. Also, Sonic Late Night Grub is where it's at.
Not wrong.
I'm Nintendo of the future.
J Can says, I'm curious how many people are confused by the naming conventions, Xbox One X, Series X, Wii U. Maybe it's a premonition to the future success. I think people figured it out well enough. Bobby says, my mom says alligators have no teeth, no toothbrush. What?
It's Adam Sandler Waterboy. Alligators are angry because they have all those teeth. It says ornery. That ornery. That's why I was like, what is that? I think they mistyped it. I was like, what does that mean? Jay says, I have wanted to catch one of these live for a long time. Good stuff, gang. Pyrus says, hi all, thanks for usual for the show. Has anyone heard anything about The Last Night? It's social media seems to all coming out.
The Last Night?
Yeah, it says Last Night.
Yeah, that was a game Microsoft had at E3 like 4 years ago.
Oh, Pyrus says, I remember playing Splitgate almost 2 years ago, and I always play against bots. It's really cool to see I have a much bigger audience and active player count. Then Shinru says, I'd go to too many games, but to quote, shake your hand, I'm going to wait till next year, travel again. Hopefully more people will get vaccinated. Be safe to everyone going. And I think that is everything there. Oh, wait, is that Marky says, read my Maxwell super chat. Pizza's like on
Maxwell
me.
Coffee, Maxwell VHS tapes.
Stadia fan. Stream with Rich. There's a lot from Mark here. I thought I got all of them. And I think that's save video like video. Okay. Hey, that's going to do it here for SpawnCast. Thanks everyone for stopping by. We'll be back 9 p.m. Eastern time next weekend. We'll see you guys then.
Bye.